Hello, people. How are we doing? For those of you that are here right now, catching the beginning of the stream, you probably have a lot of questions like, why I look so different. Why am I not wearing a cowboy hat right now? And why am I all dressed up? We'll get to all those things as the stream progresses. I see that it looks like no one's watching right now, so I will take my time and open up this wine bottle here. That's right, drinking wine tonight. Crazy, I know. Wine on the Whiskey Channel. But I saw this, and I will show the bottle here in just a second. Saw this at the local liquor store. Nice smelling cork. Hey, I've got one in chat. Very cool. How are we doing tonight? Whoever you may be, welcome, welcome. So, yes, this is what we're going to start the night with. This is a Yellowtail Cabernet Sauvignon. It is aged in whiskey barrels. So, drinking some wine because, well, if you know, you know. It seemed like the appropriate thing to do tonight. So I'm going to pour myself a little wine here. Yeah, that seems like a good amount. To get the night started. And, of course, we will be drinking whiskey as usual. So, got that closed up here. So this is definitely an impromptu live. Didn't really plan it, but just got home and felt like doing a live. So let me get a little more comfortable here. So if you're wondering why I'm all dressed up, it's because we just got out of church for, Jesus stuff. And, it's that time of year where you remember Jesus and wine and stuff. So wine. Anyway, Templar, Fidelis, how we doing, buddy? Good to see you, as always. I don't want my jacket over there. The dog may lay on it. So, all right. Shirt's unbuttoned. Jacket off. Hat on. How we doing? Yeah, and as you can see, cleaned up a little. Tried to beautify myself. So, Templar, what are you up to, buddy? How are we doing? I guess it's just potentially me and you, which is all right. I am fine with that. I'm hoping that others will pop in. Actually, let me do this. Invite, copy link, do this. If anyone does want to join us, I will post the link so anyone can. Just want to kind of have a kickback, chill evening. I was bored, so yeah. So, cheers to you, Templar. Thank you for joining, man. Appreciate it. That is nice. I haven't had wine much lately. It's been a lot of bourbon and whiskey and not a whole lot else. Jack, what is up, buddy? How we doing, man? Good to see you. Oh, still sober till Sunday. Okay. Totally get that. I understand. Yeah. So around here, we celebrate, I assume for the same reasons that you're sober till Sunday. We celebrate, we commemorate, that seems like the right word. We commemorate Jesus' death, which happened, well, something like about 18 hours from now. We commemorate, what he instituted that night beforehand. I won't get real religious on you guys tonight, but anyway, that's why we're drinking wine, though, because that's what he did. So Yeah, wine. Anyway, on vacation, Jack says. Yeah, and cheers, buddy. Thank you. On vacation and haven't had a drink since I've been out. Everything is super expensive and not much good whiskey around. Okay, where are you at? Where are you vacationing at, Jack? What are you up to, man? Gotta say, this is not bad. This was like $12 for this bottle, so not an expensive bottle at all. But still pretty good. Enjoying it. Oh, very cool. That is a find for sure. I mean, finding any Larceny barrel proof these days is quite a find. So yeah, very cool to get the new one. I still have yet to find a bottle of C921. So yeah. Pigeon Forge. You say I'm actually on your. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, because I'm running later than normal. Gotcha. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So tomorrow night, guys, just so you know, will be like the big live. I was bored, and so you know, figure why not? My camera is a little high. Let me pan down just a tad. There we go. That's a little better. Hey, Mike. Okay, let's see here. Catalanato. Is that? Am I saying that right? So Mike Catalanato. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. Welcome, brother. Good to see you. Sipping on some JD Single Barrel Select. Very cool. Cheers. Yeah, cheers to you as well, man. Yeah, so we're drinking some whiskey barrel aged wine right now, but we will be moving along to whiskey shortly. Just because of the time of year, doing a little bit of wine and to kick things off, but then we'll be getting into some whiskey. So then Jack says, in Idaho, it's like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Larceny barrel proof, I would say not just Idaho, man, but it's like everywhere. Everywhere, just really hard to find Larceny barrel proofs these days. Also, mods, if you could, that link for StreamYards, I think, let me hop over to YouTube's. I'll have to give me a second here. I think, there we go. Yes, okay, Jack is a mod. Here, let me do this. Templar, I will mod you as well. If one of you could please just pin the StreamYard thing there, that would be great. All right, can I do it since I'm here? I can probably do it. There we go. That's easier. All right, done. Cool. Yeah, that way anyone that comes along later, if you want to hop in, please feel free to. Or any of you guys in chat right now, if you guys want to hop on, just hang out, chill, chat it up tonight. Hey, Diamatron, other Sean, what's up, buddy? Also, Mike Cattle, we're just going to call you Mike because I'm probably screwing your name up, so I don't want to keep doing that a lot. Never seen Larceny barrel proof in Louisiana. Oh, hey, Louisiana, checking in. Very cool. Yeah, so I hunt in Kentucky, obviously, but also I'm in Tennessee pretty often, and so actually was lucky enough to find a second Larceny B521 just a couple weeks ago at MSRP. So that was really cool. But that is a rare find. Usually they're $100 plus if you do see them. And I don't know. Like it's probably worth 100 plus, but I hate overpaying that much. It bothers me. So yes, good evening again, Diamatron. So Templar is still going dry. Mike's drinking JD single barrel. Jack, that's right. You said you haven't found much to drink. Diamatron, what you drinking, buddy? What are we sipping on tonight? And also, I'm going to try my hand at making like kind of like a wine finished whiskey by just leaving a little bit of wine in my glass and then adding. I haven't decided. You guys tell me. What barrel proof bourbon should I add to this? I could go Maker's Mark, Larceny. We could do Elijah Craig. We got 1792 Full Proof. We got the JD behind me there. I'll see. Got Old Ezra. What else? Rare Breed. Lots of. I got a bunch of MGP barrel proofs. I got Nulu, Old Elk, Doc Swinson. Got some Starlights over there. Got the Blackened. Yeah, so you guys let me know. Once we finish this up here, we're going to pour a little bit of some barrel proof bourbon into this glass with a little bit of wine left and see how that mixes. I'm curious. Because I do like wine finished bourbons generally, so we'll see if I can do any good at doing my own mixing. Oh, okay. Hey, I totally understand, Dimetron there. Yeah, a lot of folks not drinking. Totally get that. That is fine. Picked up a bottle of George D 8-year and Blade & Bow down here. Okay. Everything else was crazy high priced and other stuff I can find at home. Right. Have you cracked either one of those, Jack? Either one of the George 8 or the Blade & Bow? I'm curious what you think about them. Because I don't know, the Dickel 8-year was decent. Nothing wrong with it. I just thought it was very mellow, which is, cool. Probably a good starter for the evening or a good finisher for the evening. Blade & Bow, I don't know, maybe I've had a bad bottle or two. Not sure. Wasn't really a fan, though. So hopefully you enjoy it more than me. Right, you already read that one. My local Albertsons Marketplace has a bottle of B521. Got to try it before Lent. Oh, got to try it before Lent. Wasn't super impressed, so I hope A122. Oh, okay. That's fair. I really like the B521, which is why I bought a second bottle. But, hey, everybody's different, man. Yeah, I hope you do. I hope you do like the A122. I was not a huge fan of the A121 last year. I thought it was good, but nothing really exceptional. So, yeah, we'll see if I can. I'm hoping to find a C921 and an A122. We'll see how it goes. Okay. I haven't cracked them just since I'm going to be flying with them, so I want to keep them sealed. That makes sense. Yeah, totally get that. So we're going to discuss this more fully tomorrow night, but curious what you guys would like to see coming up. I have like 2 months of videos shot already. I did a whole bunch of shooting over the last 2-3 weeks. So got a lot of stuff already shot, but I can put that out in whatever order I want, and I can move other stuff in. Some things coming up. So tomorrow will be the Blanton's review. I'm sure everybody can't wait for that one. And then shortly after that, we'll have a Bottle and Bond battle. So we got Early Times Bottle and Bond, and Williams Bottle and Bond. These are all the budget Bottle and Bonds, by the way. All under 25. That's where we're going. So best Bottle and Bond under $25. That will be the title of the video. So again, Early Times, Evan Williams. Let's see. Old Granddad Bottle and Bond, Old Tub, of course, Bottle and Bond, and then Mellow Corn, which, of course, so that's the title will actually be best Bottle and Bond whiskey under $25 because Mellow Corn's not a bourbon. Technically, because used oak barrels instead of new. Okay, let's see here. Can't wait to find an ECBP A122. Yeah, me too, man. Yeah, I'd love to find any of the new stuff. At the time, I found the B5 was too hot without much character. Okay, so I don't know how much of that you've had, Templar, but I think. So neck pour, I would agree. The neck pour was hot. Man, it was hot. But then, you know, I mean, as you can see, and I drink it sparingly because I do really enjoy it. Once I got down like here into the shoulder area, and I mean, I always kind of let my bottles sit for, you know, like monthish before I come back to them because I think air always helps whiskey to kind of open up and get more full. Then it was just an awesome experience. And it did fantastic in blinds. I mean, that's why it was my whiskey of the year last year because it just killed everything in blinds. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, but is there stuff, you know, because I'm always thinking, you know, because all us whiskey tubers, we're all kind of playing off each other. So one guy does something, and then somebody else like, yeah, that's a cool idea. I should do that. But is there stuff that maybe not a whole lot of channels are doing you guys would like to see, or maybe you just want my take on something, or maybe there's a review that maybe not many people have covered a certain bottle. Now, of course, you know, I'm not talking about like Pappies and bullcrap like that. Like, I'm not talking about stuff that nobody can get, but I mean, maybe there's budget bottles that maybe you haven't really seen anybody cover that you'd like to see covered. Those are the kind of suggestions I'm looking for from you guys. Stuff that, I mean, because you guys, you're here for the lives all the time. You're the ones that are always commenting on the videos. You're always some of the first to watch them. So I want to give you guys stuff that you want to see. So, okay. So, you know, funny enough, Templar, I did that video like 8 months ago. And I actually took it down because it was such a controversy. I should have left it up. I should have kept the footage, but I think I can do it better this time. So I can do that for sure. I can definitely do that because like it got so controversial. I had a guy actually contact 1792 Barton, and you know they were like sending me emails saying that I was putting out false information and that you know they're still using the same stuff, nothing has changed, on and on and on. Which doesn't really explain why it tastes different. Because now they have to be using bottle and bond stuff from Brown-Forman. That can't change. But there's a lot of other things that can change that can factor into it. So, you know, I don't know what exactly Brown-Forman was doing with their early times bottle and bond, but it could have been that they were using older stuff, and 1792 could have decided, you know what, let's just once it's 4 years, let's just throw it in the bottle and let's take the older stuff and do something else with it because they bought the whole lot. Another potential thing is that absolutely what had to have changed is the person that was doing the blending can't be the same person because clearly it used to be a Brown-Forman employee and now it's a 1792 Barton employee. So there's a lot of things that can change that make things taste different. I would say the person doing the blending is probably the biggest factor. You know, if you ever watch Aaron, I always forget his last name, but the guy from Smoke Wagon, he talks a lot about how much time he spends getting a blend right because you can totally screw up a whiskey by doing your blend wrong. So, and when you have a completely different person suddenly doing the blend, it's going to change the profile of your whiskey. So, I don't care what 1792 Barton says, it does not taste the same. And they've gotten closer in recent bottles, I think, but when they first did the switch over, it was very noticeably different. And early times bottle and bond used to be my go-to. That was my daily for a long time. So I was very familiar with the profile. So when I tasted the new bottle, I knew something was off immediately. And then I started doing research online and I started finding all this information. And we'll get more into it. Well, I'll make that happen. We will definitely make that happen, Templar. Mike says, what do you think about early times bottle and bond 100 proof? I bought one and haven't opened it yet since it might be hard to replace. So it depends if you mean new or old bottle. The new bottles are everywhere in Kentucky. I don't know where you're at, Mike. Oh, that's right, Louisiana, right? You're Louisiana. So I don't know what it's like down in Louisiana, but in Kentucky, they're everywhere. the new bottles are a little bit taller. They're screw tops. Well, they're aluminum screw tops instead of the old plastic ones. They no longer have the notch in the glass on the back. So I guess Barton has changed their bottling line again. I don't know what they're doing over there. But anyway, I think it's decent. We'll discuss this further as we'll do the old versus new, and I'll give you my full thoughts. Did you give any more thought to doing a Whiskey Alley? Whiskey Alley. Oh, Ally. Oh, yeah, okay. So now, Jack, I think so. The way this may not be exactly what you envisioned, but the way I generally do it is kind of what I'm going to do tonight. So I leave not quite that much, about that much, just, less than a sip, a dram, if you will, of something in my glass, and then I pour my next thing. And then that mixes in with that, and then you get kind of a blend of sorts. So one of my favorites to do, as I mentioned with you, is doing peated scotches with barrel-proof whiskeys. I love that added kind of smoky peatiness. And so there's some other things. That's kind of why I'm doing this tonight, because of your idea. I wanted to see how that. So I want to come up with a few things kind of like that, so you get some carryover. It's not really a full-on blend, but you get some carryover. So I know that wasn't quite exactly your idea, but I hope that works. Because at least for me, if now peated scotch is different. Peated scotch can almost like take over the night. So I never have peated scotch first because it just kind of, we all know, you almost have to get a whole new glass. I mean, if you don't want that to carry over. So yeah, but we'll talk more about that for sure. I've yet to see a review say they are the same. Yeah. So I don't, like I said, we'll get more into it, but when we do the review, but that's something I will put on the list for sure, Templar. I think it tastes different because they have a different master blender doing it. Yes, exactly. So I think that's exactly it. Hey, DMC. No, DMC, is that right? No. Anyway, Prescription Bourbon, how we doing? Another Kentuckian in here. Welcome, buddy. Thank you. Hey, Prescription, if you want to hop on, I hope the link is still pinned. Feel free to. See here. So I think same thing is going to happen to Ezra Brooks, and I think they will discontinue. They probably will discontinue Old Ezra 7, which sucks because that's a great bottle for $50. Unfortunate for sure. Yeah, I hope it stays around because I don't know what everybody else is seeing, but around here, finding Old Ezra 7 is not terribly hard. I mean, it's not nearly as hard to find as like Stags or ECVPs or anything like that that's kind of allocated, which I guess it is because it's not like a shelfer. It's not on the shelf all the time, but I can find it 2-3 times a year pretty easily without really having to do any kind of crazy hunts. So, yeah. Hopefully they don't change it too much. Okay, Jackson, awesome. I like the idea and it's different. Not a lot of people doing that right now. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, DMC. Actually, I haven't been drinking. This was my first. I had a little bit of wine. I haven't been drinking much, so I can't blame that. It's just my memory is just terrible, honestly. You could like tell me your name and I will forget 5 seconds later, and then you'll have to tell me your name again. That's the kind of person I am. Don't mean to be. I wish I had a better memory, but I just don't. So now let's see here. I think I'm going to go ECBP mix. I'm trying to decide which one.
Get the day of the week.
See, there you go. My wife's confirming. I like how earlier, see, this is what we're talking about. So I forgot that I have A122, even though I just reviewed it. So there you go. That's how great my memory is.
What day of the week it is?
All right, so we're gonna see. We got a little wine in there. We're gonna do a little bit of A122 mix here and see how we do with our blending. We're gonna pour until the color seems right. It's probably still a little too dark, so we might be a little bit too wine forward. But I don't want to go crazy with the. Apparently my look is turning my wife on. We may have to turn the camera off here shortly. Anyway, looks like my camera decided it didn't want to focus on me anymore. There we go. Come on, camera. You can do it. There we go. Find my face. Good job, camera. All right. Yeah. So, and also, guys, check out Prescription Bourbon, my fellow Kentuckian up there in Louisville, correct? I think I got that right. So we're gonna spin this around some. Try and mix the wine and the whiskey up here. And I'll let it sit for a little while and see how we did. See, I think I may have left too much wine. That's pretty purpley. So I may have went. Oh, purpley is definitely a name. My wife is going to criticize me from off camera because she's in pajamas. So anyway, so we'll get this thing spinning here. Let that sit for a little bit. All right. Hey, guys, I have to jump off. I hope I can catch you guys tomorrow. Yeah, please do, man. Yeah, so we'll be back on tomorrow for a more full live. Going to try and get Charles on, a few other people. So more full live tomorrow at 9:30, the normal time. I just want to do a little something tonight because I just felt like it. Yes, all right. I got a thing right. He is in Louisville. Hooray me. I also scored a bottle of EC C921. Oh, very cool. I have yet to find. No, that's wrong too. I have no idea. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I have. I've only had one pour, but it impresses. Yeah. So C9, this guy. Yeah. I like it. It's spicy. A lot of barrel spice going on there, but I do like this one a lot. I think it was my second favorite last year, but it kind of depends on the night because sometimes I like this better than the B521, and sometimes I prefer the B521. So that said, I did go through. This is my second bottle, so I did like the B521 a lot, and mainly it's my second bottle because it's the only one I found two of. My wife is just going to sit here and watch me talk. Anyway, yeah, Jack, have a good night. Hope to see you tomorrow, buddy. All right, let's see if we've given this thing enough time to kind of mix. Got to say, it smells really nice. Like it's all the greatness of Ledge Craig Barrel Proof, plus a little bit of wine, a little bit of those dark grape wine notes. Of course, this is a Cabernet Sauvignon, and this is a cheapie for sure. This is like $12, and this is aged in whiskey barrels. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. See, first sip here. Cerberus, my dog, is ruining the stream with his talking ball. So if you guys are hearing just nonsense, that's what's happening. We're keeping it real professional here. I gotta say, even though it made it really dark, can you take that from? Even though I made it really dark, actually not getting a whole lot of the wine presence. It's a little bit. We're gonna pause until my dog walks away. Oh, he's pulling my mouse off the table. Now he's going around this side. Can't go that way. Come on, you need to go. All right. Now, tomorrow night it will be much better. I promise. I'm gonna lock the doors so no one can get down here. No distractions, and then it'll be much better. No, he's a good dog, and I would pick him up, but I'm wearing nice clothes, so can't have the dog up here. Anyway, let's see here. Mike says, I have a regular Craig small batch, babe. Okay, well, that's not going to work. I have a regular Craig small batch. To me, it has a nutty or peanutty note to it that is hard for me to get past. Okay. Is that note in the barrel proofs at all? The nutty note goes away with soda. So I guess I'm not that sensitive, babe. Just give him a different ball. I guess I'm not that sensitive.
Come on.
We're going to pause for a few seconds here, and then I'm going to answer your question properly. Sorry about all the interruptions. So I don't get the peanutty note that much on Heaven Hill. Elijah Craig a little bit, but I would say what I get on more than anything is Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof. Their Barrel Proof is super peanutty to me. So I get it a little bit on Elijah Craig, but what I get on Elijah Craig Standard more than anything is just tons and tons of oak notes. Lots and lots of barrel presence, almost too much. Sometimes it depends on the bottle. So I can, even though it's not super old, I tend to get a little bit of a tannic oak note on some Elijah Craig small batches that I'm not a huge fan of. So that's what I get. I think the barrel proofs are just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it's just every year they're some of my favorite bottles. I try and buy every single one I can, and I try and hold on to them as long as I can for comparisons, but they usually don't make it more than a year and a half, and then they're gone. I try and save them, but it's just I'm unsuccessful because they're too good to hold on to. And the same with the Larcenies. I like the A122 was kind of whatever. That Larceny was whatever, but in general I love the Heaven Hill barrel proofs. I think they're just some of the best stuff that you can find kind of easily. I mean, it's easier to find than most, the Beach Race stuff. So to answer your question directly, though, I do not personally get that much of a nutty note on ECBPs. So hopefully that helps. Back to this combination of things here. The nose is awesome, but the palate, I'm not getting the wine at all. Of course, I could add some. Okay, there I got a little more. There I got a little more of those wine notes coming through. Pretty cool, not bad. I'm going to do a splash here, just a splash more of wine. And Mike, again, thank you for joining tonight, man. I know this is impromptu, not scheduled at all. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Templar. Of course, Jack's gone. Thank you, Prescription Bourbon. Who else do we have in here? There seems like, oh, yeah, Dimetron. All the fellas. Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you for coming out tonight. I know it was kind of last minute-ish. So I just want to hang out, have a little fun. Yeah, so did another splash more of wine there. See if we can. So my goal is to get to something that kind of tastes like this guy here. I'm trying my hand at making something like a Pfeiffer Pavitt XO because I love this bottle. So if I could just do it at home with some cheap wine, that would be great. That'd be a great accomplishment. So that's kind of the goal tonight is we're kind of going after that profile, only with potentially much better whiskey as a base. Because as far as I know, the Pfeiffer Pavitt is actually Dickel. It's well-aged Dickel, but it's Dickel nonetheless. And that's generally not my favorite. So I'm going to try it with some wine with some ECBP and see how this goes here. Are you still sipping, Mike? Are you still sipping on the Jack Daniel's single barrel, or have we moved on to something else? Some other pour, maybe more, less exciting, more pricey, less pricey, more bougie. Also, Mike, I always like to ask guys that are kind of new to the channel, guys that, well, maybe you're not new to the channel, but new to the lives for sure. At least I believe this is the first time I've got the chance to chat with you. How long you've been collecting, what got you into it, those kind of things. I believe I've kind of discussed that with most of the other guys that hang out here, but if you want to share that, that'd be cool. I knew going into this, I wasn't going to have a huge crowd tonight because of Matt Madness, but, you know, I thought I would give people the chance to just kind of chat and hang out if that's something they would rather do. And I'm not, I don't really consider myself any kind of competition for Matt. I think Matt is doing great stuff over there with the game show kind of vibe. But I wanted something a little more chill tonight. I'm going to throw this up. Well, let me double check here. I guess it's still posted, pinned, whatever the case. I was hoping we could get some of our regular kind of pub style thing going on. I was hoping. Yeah, okay, it's still pinned. Cool. Oh, hey. So, you know, that is one I keep overlooking. So the only puncher's chance I have, where the heck is it now? I got two of them around. They're both barrel proofs and they're store picks. So this is an idea we're going to discuss more tomorrow for sure. But I have an idea to do another kind of bracket thing. And I wanted to kind of go over with you guys how you would like to have it done. But I have a ton of barrel proofs. So, I don't know, I guess I got 17 or 18. I mean, some of them are not barrel proofs, but they're very close to it. You know, so things in that kind of proof range. And we're going to do maybe another bracket system and see what's the best barrel proof that I own anyway. I thought that might be fun. Maybe like June, July, if that is something you guys are interested in. Yeah, I only have the barrel proofs, unfortunately. But I mean, I could get a regular one. Not a problem. The Punchers was a bottle that really opened up after it was open for a bit. Yeah, so I really, really liked my first bottle, like the first 2/3 of it. And then like something went weird. Because the first 2/3 of my store pick were very butterscotch, like caramel, brown sugar. I mean, very typical bourbon notes, but done really, really well. So that's why I bought a second one. It's the same store pick. I have two of them. So I really, really liked it at first, and then air kind of made it turn more sour oak near the bottom of the bottle. So yeah, but we'll do a more fuller review because one bottle is much fuller than the other. So it hasn't excuse me. So it hasn't gotten funky yet. So it's still pretty good. And also they were on sale for like $45. So barrel proof store pick for $45, pretty hard to pass up. Mike says, yes, I'm eyeing up Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Been collecting for about 6 months now. Okay. Got 16 bottles. Hey, don't be ashamed, man. I mean, when I first started the channel, you can go back and watch the first video. It's still up. I don't recommend it. I think it's pretty terrible. We actually went through my first video on live not too long ago when we celebrated our 1 year. So when I first started, I just had barely enough whiskey to fill up the front of these two barrels. So like the front of this one, so that was maybe like 20 bottles. That's what I started the channel with. So yeah, don't feel bad at all, man. We all start somewhere, and don't rush it. But like you're my favorite kind of person to find my channel, because that's exactly what I made the channel for. Is that people that are kind of newer to collecting bourbon, they're looking for stuff, because I'm never gonna be the channel that covers like the super bougie bottles, because it's unlikely that I will ever have, like, say, a George T. Stagg or a William and LaRue Weller or any of the Pappies, because I'm not gonna pay like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a bottle. I think that's completely insane to pay for bourbon. Now to each their own. If you folks have the money and you want to do that, great. Good on you. I think there's too much stuff that's more reasonably priced to spend that kind of money. That's kind of my personal thought. So, if I find one at retail, obviously I would buy it. But I think that's a pretty unlikely thing to happen unless, I win like a lottery or something like that, which hopefully that's something that happens in the future. But until then, I'm very happy with what I can find pretty, fairly easily with doing a decent amount of hunting. So if you ever, if you want suggestions, if there's profiles that you really like and you're wondering, okay, what else can I find that's like this? I love having those kind of conversations, because there's so much stuff on the shelf that's fantastic that I think people are passing up. So I mentioned it in my best bourbon under $40 video that I was going to do some like community sourced info to get like more of a community based what's their favorite under 40 kind of thing. And it's unfortunate to me the way the results are going. I mean, when I do that video, you'll see more what I'm talking about, but it's just like there's like 5 bottles that you see on every Facebook group that everybody talks about, and those are the 5 bottles that everybody's their favorite. And so I wonder, is it their favorite because that's really their favorite, or is it their favorite because they've only tried 5 bottles of bourbon? And then also, if they've only tried 5, or have they only tried 5 because they're just new to bourbon, or have they only tried 5 because they think those are the best and they don't venture out? Because I think I see this problem really often in like the bourbon community, that people just don't venture out. They stick to the Buffalo Trace line because, that's the ones you got to have. And they don't venture out, and there's so much great stuff on the shelf all the time. And so I'm always encouraging people, just try what's sitting on the shelf, because a lot of it is fantastic. So Templar says, kind of an opposite for me on the punchers. Yeah. So again, I don't have the regular offering, and I also have a store pick. So could be totally different experience. So I'll have to grab a regular puncher. So what are your thoughts? It seems like you seem to like it. Yeah, you said that air helped it. So yeah, I'll have to grab one. I'm trying to think where punchers it's from. I know it's sourced. I just can't remember where it's sourced from. Oh man, now I've let this sit some. Now the wine and the Elijah Craig is really starting to mix nicely. That extra little pour of wine is really coming through. I'm up to 11 bottles. Okay. For some reason, they keep emptying. I know it's a real problem. That's the worst part about collecting. I mean, I don't really collect, because that's the wrong word. I just have too many open bottles. There's not really a word for that. I'm not a collector because every bottle I own is open except for doubles. So I have, anyway, I have a lot of open bottles. So yeah, I know it's hard to keep them full. That's the worst part about having a collection. Hey, my collection is currently at 15 too. There you go, man. I mean, and really, there unless you're running a YouTube channel, there's really no reason to have this much whiskey. It's not practical. It takes up a lot of space. You have to keep building new shelves. When you have people over, they kind of think you're insane. They're like, this guy's probably an alcoholic, which, they may or may not be onto something. I try to keep it under control. Yeah, open bottle syndrome for sure. Yeah, that's what I need to call it. Yeah, I mean, when someone walks down into my basement, it's like there's two different reactions. Some people are like, "Wow, this is amazing. Can I take a picture?" Other people are like, that's an interesting choice to make. So yeah, it's hard to explain to someone why you have this many bottles of whiskey, because there's no practical reason to do it. And anybody that has any intelligence knows that this costs a lot of money. So they kind of just look at you like, I don't know if you're making the right choices in life, but hey, whatever. See, I want to buy $100 to $200 a month, mostly to hoard and some for sipping. Used to only drink JD Black, but recently started trying others. Trying to stick to bourbons for now. Okay, cool. So I don't know where you're at. So I know, for me, the first probably 6 months, when I really started getting serious into bourbon, I was not big on barrel proofs. So jumping from Jack Daniel's single barrel up to the barrel proof is a huge step. It's a huge step quality wise as well, though, I think. But it's hot. I mean, it's incredibly hot. So, it's like 130 proof. So I'm just fair warning. It's delicious. It's a fantastic bottle of whiskey, but just know that I would kind of work my way up the pole of proof. Probably if you I don't know where you're at, Mike, but if you haven't tried a ton of barrel proofs, probably instead of going after like say Weller 107, because that's what everybody's going to talk about, I would instead go with like a Maker's 46 cast strength. They're usually around 108 to 110, sometimes 112. So very similar proof point to the Weller, and I think it's a better product. Also, it's much easier to find. Some other lower proof point bourbons to kind of work your way up if that's something you're interested in. What else is around that? Oh yeah, so the the Evan third try is the charm, right? The Ezra Brooks Distillers Collection, excellent bottles for around 30 to 40. It depends on your area, and they're usually in the 106 to 108 range. All the ones I've seen, those are great, as well as the Rebel Distillers Collection, same price point and similar proof points. And so the Rebel is a wheater, if that's something you're more interested in. So the Ezra is more dark notes, more coffee, all that kind of stuff. And then the Rebel's more lighter, more cherry, more lighter fruits. So it depends on what you're going after, but those are two great, kind of more budget friendly, lower proof options. And then, yeah, as Prescription Bourbon just mentioned, the Russell's single barrel, I think that would probably be my next step up. Huge step up in quality from the ones I just mentioned. Well, other than Maker's 46 cask. Maker's 46 cask I freaking love that bottle. Hey, Neophyte, if you want to hop on, man, feel free. I believe the link is still posted. So, yeah. But then Russell Single Barrel, like I go back and forth between what is my favorite like shelfer cast strength available. It's between 46 Maker's 46 cask and Russell Single Barrel. I love both of those so much, and especially you can find store picks of Russell Single Barrels all the time. I mean, at least here in Kentucky, and they're usually reasonable. They're usually about 55, 60 bucks. So that's a buy for me. If I find one from a store that I know does good picks, I'm usually buying it because they're always great. And even the just the regular shelf version is good. Also, as Prescription Bird mentioned, rare breed. You got to have rare breed. I will say, rare breed does drink hotter than any of the ones I mentioned so far, in my opinion. So just something to note. That said, I love rare. I mean, it's still like I usually have two. The only reason I don't is because I just killed one off. But usually there's two sitting behind me. I try and always have two rare breeds, so I need to go buy one right now. That's what that means. But yeah, just absolutely all those the ones that Prescription Bird mentioned, all the ones I mentioned. If you want to start kind of creeping your way up into higher proofs, that's the route I would go. Because I think once you get, like I said, I don't know where you're at, but once you get to where you can really handle and appreciate barrel proofs, Jack, especially since you're a Jack fan, the Jack Daniel's barrel proofs are pretty easy to find and they're phenomenal. So yeah. Love getting new bottles, Prescription Bourbon says, but whenever I empty one, I must always replace it. Vicious cycle. I know. And so it's just the money just keeps it's like your banking account just has holes in it and it's just constantly seeping out. What is up, Neophyte? I didn't properly say hello. So thank you, buddy. Thank you for hopping on. Let's see here. The first couple pours of Punchers was very flat bitter. Okay. It was just meh. I let it sit for a month and went back to it just to see and was pleasantly surprised. It was sweeter with character. Oh, very cool. Let's see here. Yeah. Man, I love Russell Single Barrels, especially store picks. There is a Liquor Barn just about an hour and a half north of us, and whoever the guy is there that does the picks always does great picks up in it's in Danville. And so anytime I'm up there, I always look for a Russell's Single Barrel store pick because they're always great. In fact, this one behind me here, let me grab it. This one right here is it's like strawberries and whipped cream. It's just ridiculously good. I've been really trying to just kind of nurse this. I don't want to finish it because it's so good. I've had this. Let's see. This is so this is a end of 2020 pick. So you can see I'm really trying to make it last because I love that bottle. I have yet to find another pick that is quite as good as that. I mean, they're all great, but this one was extra special. So yeah, if you guys see them, get the Russell's Single Barrel store picks. They are phenomenal. Well, at least they can be. I want to buy some that are a little rare and might be worth more money in the future. Maker's 46 is awesome. Love Wild Turkey too. Yeah. So now that's fine. I mean, I get that bourbon is an investment, can be. None of mine are worth anything because they're all open. But I get that a lot of people. I know a lot of people that they're using bourbon as an investment, and that's fine. Hey, if that's what you want to do, your money, man. Do whatever you want. So, okay, real quick, Templar, good night, man. Again, we will be on tomorrow night at 9:30 as our regular stream. So please join us then, and everybody else in chat as well. Hope to see you there. Good night, though, Templar. See you then. But right now, we got Anthony from Bourbon Neophyte joining us. Anthony, welcome to the stream, buddy. How we doing?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. Good to see you.
Oh, good to be seen, as I say. Better to be seen than viewed.
That's for sure. Yeah, better above than below, right?
Exactly. I was just sitting there in the other room, and I just let me see if Matt Madness is over, and I looked and seen that you were streaming, and I go, oh, I didn't even get a notification. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, this was very impromptu. I went on
Okay.
at I went on at 11, and I think I posted it at like 10:48, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of bored tonight, so we just got back from church, and I was like, you know what, I want to hang out with the boys, so let's do that. So yeah, so that's
Yeah.
why I'm all fancy here. I did have a tie on, and
I was kind of looking at that, and I'm like, man, do I got to dress up for this thing? I got to get my vest, change my hat. You know, I'm like, what's up with this?
oh, you are dressed up enough, man. You got a button up shirt and your Panama jacket.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But I was like, holy smokes, look at that. I mean, the man's all dressed up, and I says, I'm not drinking anything fancy tonight. I'm just having a little bit of the Uncle Nearest.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's see which one is that? That's so I have the 1856. Is that the which proof point is that one?
This is 93. I have that one too.
Okay.
That's the 100, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But I got this a while ago, and I got to meet the master distiller.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. And so when I was speaking to her, I was very, how do I say this? I wanted to know more about the Lincoln County process and Uncle Nearest.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she is the great, I want to think it's great granddaughter of Uncle Nearest.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, I've seen her interviewed many times. Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know why, but her name escapes me, but it'll come to me, but that's okay. And I said, do you, or can you, or is there anything that shows him being an important part in bringing this process to life? And basically, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I mean, now maybe I'm misinformed. First of all, let me say, Livewire. What is up? Mike, how we doing? Hey, Mike, if you want to hop on, man, feel free. I believe the link is still posted. So yeah, if you want to hop on, man, please do so. But yeah, so to my knowledge, and I could be misinformed, it's a pretty strong possibility. But to my knowledge, Uncle Nearest or Nearest Green is really gave Jack Daniels the Lincoln County process, and is why we have
bingo.
Yeah.
And at that time,
let me change these around here so we look better. There we go. That's a better view.
Look at this.
Yeah. What is up, Mike? Oh,
he's frozen up there a little bit.
We got a good view of Mike's chin hair, which is not bad. I mean, it's not a bad view, you know.
No.
It's got nice, some nice chin hair going on. Got a nice Livewire hoodie. Yeah, looking good.
Yeah, maybe he'll. I don't know what he's doing, but he might pop off and come back on. He's a little bit frozen there. I don't know where he is. I can't hear him too. Oh, I know where he is. He's camping.
Oh yeah, you nailed it, Anthony. That's it. Yeah.
I'm looking at the curtains and the shades, and I go.
That is an RV for sure. I recognize it now. Yeah, Anthony nailed it.
Yep. And that's the same problem I have when I'm up in my trailer, and sometimes the internet's firing just like this. Other times, no, it's not working for darn, you know. But I can watch, but I can't stream.
Well, I hope Mike can get on at least long enough to tell us where he's at, what he's doing.
Well, he might even just be in his backyard.
Well, yeah, that's true. Could be. Hey, Slapshot, man. Another one. Hey, if you want to hop on, man, feel free. We're just kind of hanging out tonight, just chatting with the fellas.
By the way, Mike, I received my package. Thank you. I opened up the mail, and there it was, and I'm like, holy smokes. And it's the right size.
Hey, well, Mike, you know what little bit we got to see of you looked great, man. But yeah, please let us know if you're not in your backyard and you're somewhere more interesting, hanging out. Please. Hey, it's Charles. Charles, another
Yes,
one.
it is.
If you want to hop on, I know you may not be at B's house and you probably don't have the full setup, but if you want to hop on, man, feel free. We're just hanging out tonight, doing a little impromptu live, chilling with the fellas.
Oh, okay.
Horsetooth Reserve. Okay, very cool. I have no idea where that is, but it sounds
That's up
cool.
around him.
Okay. Cool.
I'm pretty sure that's Colorado. I mean, yeah, I'm going to say yes. I'm just trying to think. I don't know why I know that name. Or maybe I'm confusing with something else. But anyway.
So,
drink with some Jepsons. All right. Well, hey.
Very nice.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about that bottle there, Mike. Yeah, we were talking with the other Mike that was in chat here. I guess he still is. Mike, let's see if I can try his name again. Mike Catalanato, I believe. I'm probably saying it horribly wrong, but I gave it a shot. Yeah, so he's kind of a JD fan, and so we were kind of recommending that bottle. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. So, oh, that's right. Yeah, time differences. Charles is just about to cook. Okay, hey, no problem, man. Okay, so Mike Stahl and Livewire Whiskey is just above Fort Collins. Okay, very cool.
Maiden voyage.
Yeah. So also, guys, I haven't really said this yet. Should have earlier. So check out Bourbon Neophyte, Anthony here. Great guy, as you can see on your screen. Also check out Livewire Whiskey. And also check out Fun with Whiskey. All great guys. That's why they're here, because they're great people. Yeah, so check those guys out. And do we have any mods in chat? If we don't, I will change that. But mods, if you could, please drop the links to these great guys, so that way people can subscribe and do the things. Okay, well, Charles is the mod, but he is busy. So, Mike, if you don't mind, I know you don't have great reception, but I'm going to add you as a moderator. Oh, okay, Dimetron, I guess you are here still. Let's see here. Slapshot, I think you're a person I can trust. Oh, and Prescription Bourbon, you're here as well. Yeah, I give out the mods because I like to have tons of mods. That way, it's not all left to one person. So, yeah, you're all trustworthy people. I know you'll do a great job. So, yeah, if any of you guys can drop the links to these great people that have joined us tonight, that would be fantastic. Yeah, I'll give all of Whiskey Tube some love.
But yeah,
exactly. As Mike said, Fun with Whiskey is awesome. Charles is my guy. Love Charles
too. Andy cooks.
That's it. Yeah. So I haven't said recently what I'm drinking. So I am trying my hand at some blending tonight. So I got this Yellowtail Cabernet Sauvignon that is aged in whiskey barrels. Cheap bottle of wine for sure. But then I thought, so this is one of my favorite all-time bottles. I love this bottle so much. This Pfeiffer Pavitt, well, I'm going the wrong way. Come on, camera. There we go. Pfeiffer Pavitt XO, which is, aged in, let's see here, straight whiskey, finished in Pfeiffer Pavitt Cabernet Sauvignon barrels. Yeah, so very fancy, very bougie. So, I thought to myself, can I make something kind of similar on my own? This was inspired by an idea from Jack, because he was, talking about kind of things that pair well together. We were talking about peated whiskeys earlier, pairing.
Peated whiskey.
I like leaving a little bit of peated whiskey in my glass and then pouring a nice barrel proof bourbon on top of that. Get that kind of smokiness going on, the barrel proof bourbon. So this was another one I thought might work well. And actually, I'm really enjoying this. So just a little bit of a Cabernet Sauvignon, cheap wine. This is like $12, nothing fancy. But the added complexity into this Elijah Craig barrel proof is really great. I am really enjoying this combination of flavors here. And the nose is just, I mean, of course, I mean, it's Elijah Craig barrel proof, so it's already fantastic. But a little wine in there as well. If you folks out there are both wine and bourbon fans, then
so there's a few whiskeys out there finished in wine barrels.
mm-hmm.
And that one that you had from Bardstown is I have a similar bottle from them. And
Okay.
I'm not fond of it because the wine influence really comes out. I'm working on my camera. It decided it wanted to do something on its own, and I'm not sure what it's doing, but I'm giving it a second to reboot. But anyway, yeah, it's different. Let me put it that way. It was more wine forward than I anticipated. And I was like, wow. And I didn't think it was terrible. I'm one of the few Italians that don't like wine. So, but that wasn't terrible. So, but it didn't make me go, oh, I need another glass.
So now, Anthony, so you said that the wine kind of took over a little bit too much, right? So
yes.
Are you typically a red wine fan, like on its own?
No, neither.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can keep the wine.
Okay. See, I am both. I love red wine, and also, I mean, I married an Italian on purpose, so
so did my wife.
So pasta and red wine is something that's in our house, pretty often. And my wife is like actually Italian from Italy. So I love red wine, especially dry red wines. And so anytime I see a nice, here we go. Here's Slapshot. Hey, buddy.
What's up, Brian?
Good. How you guys doing?
Oh, good. My gosh. Perfect. If I can get my camera to come back on.
Well, I mean, the avatar is not bad.
No. No, I have stock photos.
Real quick, let me run through a little bit of chat here. Yeah, cheers to everyone. Okay, I read that. Fun with whiskey is awesome. I agree. I trust Slapshot with my life. True story. I do not doubt that at all. I was watching Charles before Charles knew how big he was going to get. I agree. I'm with Mike on that. So I don't know when I subbed to Charles, but he had to have been, I don't know, around 50, 60 subs. Charles could probably tell you. And at that time, I was nobody. I had like 12 subs, maybe. I don't even know. It was a while ago. I mean, me and Charles have been doing lives together for a minute. It's been almost the whole time I've been on YouTube. So most of my YouTubingness. Let's see here. Not always a wine finish fan, but do love sherry finish. Okay, cool. Almost time to switch over to the straw hat, Sean. Hey, I felt like it didn't really go with what I'm wearing tonight. So that's I got a kind of a tan hat. I don't have a straw hat. I need to get one though because the summer's coming up and those breathe better. Port finish DMC, it's good too. Yeah. So I love port finishes and I love cab finishes. I'm not huge on sherry, especially when it comes to scotches. Not really. Hey, here we go. We got two cowboy hats on stream.
There's the straw hat.
Like it. Yeah.
That's my working in the yard summer hat.
Hey, Bourbon Rendezvous. Okay, so this is a new channel, guys. Also, good buddy. He has supported my channel for a long time, literally a Patreon of mine. Appreciate Bourbon Rendezvous very much. Go check him out. He's putting out some great stuff, great reviews, fun guy. Again, mods, if you can, please, or folks, just find him. Go search him out. Go find Bourbon Rendezvous. A raise of the glass to everyone on this Good Friday. Exactly. Yeah, so that is why that is why we are doing a wine bourbon mix, because of that very thing. Bourbon Rendezvous. So, Slapshot, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah. Good, man. Good to see
I
you.
don't have anything finished in wine or port.
As I said, I just kind of made my own thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I like the John J. Bowman port finish stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I haven't tried that yet. I've had the regular. So there's all the different Bowmans. So I
Yeah,
always
you got the Bowman Brothers, which is the lower stuff. Then you got the John J., which is a single barrel. Then you got the port finished, which is just the regular stuff finished in port barrels. And now there's two different versions of the port, because they'll use the port barrels twice. So if it's the first fill, it's 3 months. If it's a second fill, it's 6 months.
Oh, very cool. So what are your thoughts on finished bourbon, Slapshot? Anthony was saying he's not a huge fan.
It depends. I don't really like sherry. I've never actually had sherry, but I don't like bourbon finished in sherry. I don't like scotch finished in sherry. It's whatever.
Yeah.
I want to get some sherry to see like if that's what I'm not liking about the stuff, because when it's finished in sherry, it's no good to me.
See, I'm with you on that. Like sherry finished scotch, just it doesn't do anything for me. I've tried a bunch of them because that's probably the biggest category, or at least the easiest for me to find. What do we got here? It was
12 bourbon sherry.
Okay, gotcha.
That's delicious.
If you like sherry.
Well, so getting back to what we were talking about, the wine finish. What's really weird is this has a Zinfandel taste to me.
Okay.
I like it.
That
was the point I was trying to make before my camera went out. Anyway, but I like this one. So this is matured in a combination of traditional oak, ex-bourbon, and sherry casks. And it's only 40 ABV. But man, this thing has good viscosity. 12 years. What is it? Under $40. And I was just surprised at the flavor it had.
I bet Anthony that my wife would like that because she loves Zinfandel. So, and I'm turning her on to bourbon slowly. So, what's the proof point on that?
80.
Okay, yeah,
40 ABV.
Yeah, she would totally be into that. Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's a great sipper. I'll pour that sometimes when I just want something to drink, let's just say, and I'm in a mood for a scotch and a single malt. Boom.
So, Brian, what are you sipping on tonight?
What am I sipping on? I don't even know what I put in. Oh, the ancient age, like just the bottom ancient age. No, not the 10 star, the one below that.
Hey, just regular ancient age.
Yeah, just ancient age. Yeah,
we all have to have budget nights sometimes.
Oh yeah, I like it, and
yeah,
I found a couple. I was smoking a cigar earlier, and I found it goes well with the cigars I'm smoking. So,
oh, cool, man. That beard is just growing faster than most kids are, I think.
Miracle grow, Sean.
Yeah, that's why when everybody was so butthurt when I shaved it, I was like, "Don't worry, it'll be back soon enough."
Yeah, give me a week.
Exactly.
Let's see here. Your shipment will definitely go out Monday or Tuesday, Slapshot. Hectic couple weeks.
I ain't worried about it, Mike. You do it when we get a chance. Your mom's more important than sending me stuff.
Oh, Mike, is that why you're up that way? Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I hope things improve there, Mike. It's never
My
good.
wife doesn't prescription bourbon.
Never good when your mom's sick. That's no fun.
Nope.
Wine finish. I don't think I have anything like that. Hey, that's all right, man. Like I said, I have a few, but I tried my hand at making my own tonight. I just bought a cheap bottle of wine and figured, hey, let's throw.
That Yellowtail though is pretty a popular brand. I mean, I see it all the time. People have it. they consider
Yeah.
it a good everyday type of a,
It's
no
okay.
real special occasion. It's just it's
Yeah.
not stellar, but they said it's a
it's
good.
it's a daily sipper.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I have no wine palate. I don't when I drink wine, I get the Aldi Winking Owl, which is like $2.95 a bottle. And,
There you go. Now, I mean,
that's it, because I can't tell the difference between a $2.95 bottle or a $95 bottle. So
I mean, this isn't a whole lot more. This was $12, and this is aged in whiskey barrels for what it's worth. That's really what made me buy it, because I was like, I knew what I was going to do with it. I was going to be pairing it with whiskey, so I was like, hey, let's go with that. And it's decent. It's working out all right. Yeah, I'm having fun with it.
And wine is kind of like bourbon. Sometimes the first glass or two out of it, I mean, it's good, but give it a night or two, let it open up a little bit, and acclimate a little more to the temperature where it's at. And it's like, wow. And the only reason I say that is my brother and sister, or my brother-in-law and sister, they're wine drinkers, but also Scotch. They love Scotch. They spent a month over in Scotland and did a lot of the tours and so on and so forth. And but they're the ones that told me, there's certain bottles that are good, but once it opens up a bit, and there's the reason why they have those, I think they call them aerators, where they pour it through and it gets rid of some of the stuff that's in there, and then they decant it, and then they serve it to their guests. They say absolutely makes a difference in any bottle.
I have like 5 different aerators.
Okay. I don't know one from another, and I don't drink wine, but that's what I've been told.
Yeah, there's different qualities of aerators, like you were saying. So some of them do sift out stuff, and others just add air. It just adds bubbles into it, basically. And so it just, basically it oxidizes your alcohol faster. That's all it's doing. But I mean, I think they're a fun little thing to have. The only thing about wine, like compared to whiskey, so whiskey could sit on your shelf for open, a couple of years, as long as it's pretty high in the bottle. Wine, for me, it's got a couple weeks, and then it's going to start to sour on you, and it's just not at all the same. So, because I let a bottle sit way too long, I let it sit for about a month and a half, and it was just awful. It was about half full, and so it's not quite the same as the magic that is whiskey.
Yeah, it definitely is not.
Let's see here. First off, I'm curious about this comment, Mike. She cheated on me. I hope you don't mean your wife. I hope that's not why you're camping. Anyway, I need the Kilchoman PX Sherry finish.
Kilchoman. Oh, that Kilchoman. Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't have any of those yet, but I'm working on it.
And then he just randomly blurts out Blanton's. Apparently I'm missing something.
Well, that's because he's camping.
Oh,
it happens.
Is the pony bottle the official camping bottle? I didn't know.
I don't know, but like I said, he's
not for me.
Probably having a moment.
My camping bottle is low end Henry McKenna from the bottom shelf.
Okay. See, I always go Wild Turkey 101. That's always my camping bottle.
See, because when I'm camping, it's hot usually, so I add a little bit of I put in some sweet tea, like a little bit of sweet tea and a cherry in it.
So
and
Brian,
then a couple ice cubes. So
Brian, this is what you need to pick up. And I'm not a fan. Let me just say this: I'm not a fan of the sweeter whiskeys. However, let me reach back here. In the summertime, I easily go through 2/5 of these.
Oh, the American honey. Yeah.
Wild Turkey.
Okay. Yeah.
And I will get unsweetened tea or brew it. Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Pour 2 fingers of that in a glass and fill the rest with ice and then tea. stir it up. Look out. It
Yeah,
is
I
off
would
the hook.
definitely go unsweetened, like you said, Anthony, because that stuff is really, really sweet.
Yeah,
So,
that
It
is.
is. So when I first actually tried this, I was at a place and they gave it to me neat. They said, "You've got to try this. This stuff is great." And I said, and they said, "What is this?" It's wild turkey, American honey. So I'm not thinking honey as in sweet. I thought, well, that's an odd name until I nosed it. And I said, well, one, it smells weak. It is 71% is the proof.
Mhm.
And I took a sip and I was like, oh no. They're like, what? And I go, no, this is not good at all. I said, whiskey is not meant to be like this, in my opinion. And I set it down and I never went back to it. Years later, I was at my father's and he said, oh, I got something you got to try. So I had my iced tea there. He grabbed that and it was kind of just a little bit out of my reach. And I saw what it was. And before I could say no, he got a couple of good chugs in there. And he said, now stir that up. And I said, Dad, I hate that stuff. He goes, yeah, it's terrible neat. But here. And I was a little upset that he put it in there, but okay. So I humored him and I took a gulp out of it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I drank that thing down like it was just tea and I was hooked. And it's just really good. It's just really good. And then I always have a couple of fifths of that up at the trailer. And there's a brand of tea here that's pre-bottled, straight, fresh brewed tea, no instant tea. Tevana, I think it's called. And you get it for about $2 I'm going to say $2 a pint, give or take. And I'll buy 6 of those bottles because they, 1, travel well, and 2, in the trailer, I've got a place to store them. So I have a milk crate under the bed. And so I have to put them in there with a couple of bottles of booze and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm telling you, buy that for, I don't know what the heck this thing is, about 15 to 20 bucks for a bottle. And get yourself, either brew it yourself or get some unsweetened store-bought, but make sure it's good tea. And I'm telling you what, Brian, Sean, you're just going to go, oh my gosh, that's your summer drink. Like,
yeah, mine, I do sun tea. So I got mason jars that I put
perfect
tea bag in, set it on the railing.
Yep. And just leave it go for the day.
Yep.
Man, sun tea is always one of my favorites. Love
but that works perfect, Brian, because I've done the sun tea. Yep, that is perfect.
I'll give it a shot.
So Brian, you were saying that you usually camp when it's warmer. I always camp when it's cold because if it's not like freezing outside, I can't sleep. Because the sleeping bags are always warm. Even when you're on top of them, it's still kind of warm in the tent because I have a cheap tent. Let's be fair. So, nonetheless, so I like it cold. I like it, 40.
I like it crisp.
40.
Well, yes. Yeah, I have a camper, and my kids always laugh because they're like, "Man, penguins would say it's cold in here because I cranked that AC."
Yeah, man.
I'm like, that's why you got sleeping bags. Crawl in your bunk and shush.
So you're talking about camping in the cold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I don't know if anybody is familiar with Land Between the Lakes. So that's it's on the border of Kentucky, Tennessee, and actually, depending on where you're at in the water around that island, it's essentially an island. You could be either in Tennessee water or Kentucky water, but Tennessee and Kentucky kind of give grace areas to both residents because they know there's that crossover. But it's a really awesome place, not just for fishing, but also hunting. Although the license is kind of crazy, but the fishing is not too bad. So usually we go out there, Land Between the Lakes, and we camp like early April, which didn't happen this year, or like late like October. So it's usually about 40 to 50 at night. And man, the fishing is just fantastic. And so we usually do fish fries every night and wild turkey, man. It's a hell of a time.
That's the thing. So when you're talking about camping in the cold, back in the day, So this was been in like 82, 83 when I was a kid.
Mike
Wow.
says drink. Okay.
That's right. So I would go camping, and we'd go in the winter, and I was in Scouts, but we had a friend who was disabled, and we put him on a sled because he couldn't get his wheelchair to go through waist high snow. So basically we put him in a sled, put his stuff on it, and we would pull him across the field to get to where we were going. Then we would hollow out a hole. Okay, think maybe as big as one of your spare bedrooms. Put our fire in the center, and then in the mound of snow that's up to your shoulders, because it's deep up there, we would dig into the snow, different chambers, then take a candle, put the candle in there for a couple of hours. It would glaze over the inside. Mm-hmm. So at night, when you're inside there, it doesn't fall in on you and compact. That's how you keep that from happening. And we would lay our stuff down in there, put our Sub-Zero bags, and the coldest I've slept out was probably 10 below zero. And inside there, it's always 32 degrees.
Right.
And it was like walking into a heated room when you would crawl into there to go to bed. And your fire would be in the center. And so the front would get iced over. Then you iced over the inside. You just had to remember. So we put sticks up. So when you're walking around the sides, you knew when you saw these sticks not to come through them, because that's where your chambers were, that you would sleep. Because you couldn't, well, you could put up a tent, but you'd dig a lot. And we just dug snow caves.
Yeah.
And then many a nights, to test out our sleeping bag, my friends would come over. We'd sleep on our front porch. And one night I can remember it got down with a wind chill of probably 20 below. And, you just have your nose sticking out of that little porthole you got on there. I was fine. But I can remember my grandfather going to the window, and I would hear him tapping on the window. And so finally, I get up out of there, and I look up at him, and I go, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Are you guys still alive out there?" And I go, "I wouldn't be talking to you if I wasn't." But he was so worried we were going to freeze on the porch. But, one, we were 13, 14 years old in Sub-Zero bags. Oh, yeah. And if we did get cold, we just went into the house. But we didn't. We stayed out there all night, and that wind was just howling. But, we wanted to make sure those sleeping bags worked.
So, real quick, let me get to some great chat here. So, Prescription Bourbon says he misses Anthony's beard. I think we probably all do. But, hey, the clean look is good, too. Ancient Age 90 is our house bourbon, practically on tap here. Okay, yeah, going back and chat a little bit, no problem. And Mike says he is a whiner, not a whiner. You need to read the chat to know the difference between those two things. Ancient Age is Blanton's.
That's his Blanton's comment. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, no, Blanton's is Ancient Age.
Yeah, there you go.
Wife wants to make let's try again. Wife wants to move to Kentucky, and she doesn't drink. Well, I mean, to be fair, Mike, Kentucky's pretty awesome, even if you don't drink. There are so many great, just natural, like, parks. If you're into hunting, I know that's kind of a touchy subject, but there are great plots of open land here. Even if you don't hunt, just go hiking. It's a beautiful place to live. I do not regret my move that I made 2.5 years ago at all. I freaking love it here. It's peaceful, so much less traffic, depending on where you live. Of course, there's big towns, but it's exactly what I needed to de-stress.
Oh, yeah. And hey, Mike, Bib and Tucker is not all Dickel. Some of it is MGP. And I was talking to a guy today. It's funny you should ask that, because they were talking about it, and they're going to start with coming out with a gimmick like Blanton's has the horse. They're going to start coming out with something very similar on the toppers. And so you'll know what is 2022 versus 2023. So they're going to have a few of those to get people to drive to it. And I said, well, you got to first like George Dickel. I said, because it's primarily Dickel juice out of Tennessee. And I asked, well, why I'm not buying it. He said, this one here is MGP, just like Redemption. I said, well, I love Redemption. I said, but she said, I'm not calling you a liar, but I'd have to taste it first, because all my experiences with Bibb and Tucker is it is George Dickel out of Tennessee. That's where they.
I think we need to make I'm just gonna just cut that segment out. Anthony, just play Dickel juice over and over again.
Dickel juice. That's right.
Anyway, so just to clear it up, Mike. So this is only distilled in Tennessee. So this is all Dickel, 1,000% Dickel juice right here. But we're trying the blend thing again. Since I got this cheap wine here, we're going to see if Bibb and Tucker blends with some red wine and see how that does. So I'm going to let that
Yellowtail.
Yes, same bottle, same bottle I was blending earlier. Still this Yellowtail that's aged in whiskey barrels. To be fair, I'm not picking up the whiskey barrels at all. Because I had a glass of this at the beginning of the stream just on its own, just to see what it was about. I didn't really get any of the whiskey barrel influence, but I have to imagine it probably wasn't in there very long, because this is a cheap wine. I mean, it's only a 2020 wine, so it's only 2 years old anyway. So I don't know how long it was aged in whiskey barrels, but probably not long.
So you're saying, Sean, you're not a connoisseur. You're more of a commenseur when it comes to wine.
That is correct. Yeah. I mean, I like wine, but I'm not snooty about it. I don't have $500 bottles of wine or anything like that. Just like I don't have $500 bottles of whiskey, because I don't care about that kind of stuff. If it tastes good, I'm gonna drink it. That's
but you got $1,500 bottles of whiskey. I know that.
That's true. Joe did point that out last week.
That's right.
I keep looking around. I'm trying to find that bottle. I keep losing hold of it.
Well, it's probably about that on the barrel to your right and the barrel to your left. If you start adding that up with what's on the shelf behind you and then on the fort, hey, there you go.
Yeah, that would equal one $1,500 bottle. Yeah. No, actually, so in all honesty, the most expensive bottle I own is the one I showed off earlier, which is my favorite. Not that price point is really it, but I do love this bottle. So this was $200. That's kind of my splurge. I usually don't go.
Oh yeah, I hear you. I hear you on that.
Mainly because I don't think you really need to go that high to get good bourbon.
You do not. You're 100% right.
So I rarely do that, but I was there at the distillery, and so they talked me into it. That's my story. So. Yeah, I mean, so there are some great bottles of Dickel out there. I mean, honestly. So I picked this up just where is it here? Here we go. Picked this up just like 2 weeks back. This Barrel Select, and it's low proof.
Well, that's yeah.
But it's good. I mean, like, it's a great kind of like starter bourbon for the night if you want something low proof to kind of get into the night, or nice to finish off the night. Yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah, it's kind of like
my bottle, the Piper.
I'm trying to read which one is. I can't
That's
read.
The one finished in the Cabernet Sauvignon.
Oh, okay. It's the standard Piper patent. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That yours you get at the distillery. I can't unless I go there. So that's the closest I could come to it. And yeah, it's going to stay where it's at for a while. I may take that one to camp when we head up there.
There you go. But you're not. So
let my dad and stepmom work on that.
Anthony, we need to exchange samples. We've talked a lot about stuff like that.
Anytime. Anytime.
So we'll do this afterwards. But I'll shoot you an email. I'll send you the stuff I have, and then you can do back. But anyway, because I would like to try the standard, just because I've never had the standard version of that, and I'm curious how it compares. Is that barrel proof, or is it What's
It's
the proof
only
point?
it's 50 ABV.
Okay. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cask strength, but come on, it's only 100 proof.
Oh, so it does say cast strength on it.
It does say cask strength. Yeah,
Interesting.
but
Okay.
I'm saying is well, I know in that barrel it's not 100 proof.
Yeah.
But
well,
hey, James.
I mean, to be fair, they can't put that on the bottle unless that was what it came out of the cask at. But an even 100 proof, that is kind of odd. So it's not like 100.8 or just a flat.
Yeah. Nope. This is straight 50% ABV.
It's interesting.
I know.
It's very interesting.
seems kind of lucky that it would just work out as a even 100 proof.
100, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So too.
We have to investigate that barge down.
50.3, something odd. Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
But exactly.
Hey, so James Morgan from the UK. Hey, buddy, how you doing, man? Yes, saying hi to all of us. Appreciate that very much. And same to you, brother. Yeah, good to see you.
Cheers to you, sir. Happy Easter.
I may have went too wine heavy on this Bib and Tucker. It's not standing up to the wine as well as the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, which makes sense. It's a lot lower proof. The wine,
you can always take a bigger swig of that and then add a little more Bib and Tucker.
Well, I'm going to not take a swig and just add more Bib and Tucker.
There you go. I'm all for that too.
That way too.
See, look, Brian's even smiling on that one. That's acceptable.
That works too.
Yeah.
Hey, so Brian, I know I'm trying to remember who we were on together. Was it Deathless or Mike or Cheech? I can't remember where we're at together. I don't want to like kill the stream with bad vibes or anything like that because we're having a good time. But we were talking about PTSD a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I guess my excuse me, my question to you was like, when did you? How did you realize that things were not right? And if you're not comfortable talking about it, we won't talk about it. We'll move on.
Oh no, I'm more than comfortable. I talk about it because I want people to know. I want the stigma gone.
Yeah.
So I'm more than willing to talk about it. In fact, I made a baseball jersey and a hockey jersey with PTSD on it and a teal jersey. And mine started. I was in law enforcement. 2 years in, a friend of mine was killed in the line of duty, and that's the day it started going downhill. And then when I really knew I had a problem was probably 2 years after that. But the way things were in law enforcement, if I would have told anybody, I would have been fired anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept it to myself from 2006 till 2016 when I finally sought help, and that's where we are now. So but yeah, it was, I knew it, everybody knew it, nobody said it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like you said, Brian, I think it's interesting that there is this stigma attached to it. And I think what's interesting about that is that, like, for the people that are putting the stigma on it, you have no idea. Like, because you just don't understand what it's like to have real trauma in your life. That's really you've lived a privileged life and you have no idea what trauma is.
I wish I knew.
So I mean, so when I think about, so my grandfather, I imagine, had PTSD, had to have. He was an MP in World War II. He had to kill his own men, which was very sad. He only talked about it about 2 times in his life, according to my father. But back then there wasn't a name for it. There was, so it was just like, you just manned up and you just didn't talk about it. But so now I'm thankful that, sure, we have this label and it's not necessarily something that a lot of people understand, but And it's unfortunate for me that I came about my PTSD in a much less glorious way than yourself, because you were doing something honorable and I wasn't. But nonetheless, trauma is trauma.
Trauma is trauma.
And you can't make it go away. It doesn't.
Not on your own. I tried that for many years, and it didn't work.
Me too.
I'm an advocate for that.
I keep having to check myself, and there's times where I get out of hand. You probably, if you watch some of my streams, you've seen me get out of hand. But there was a time where I was a true alcoholic. I mean, I just was not even functioning. I didn't hardly work at all, and I won't get into all the other stuff. But I mean, it just, that's how I was dealing with life. I was not coping at all. And so, you just drown yourself, and that's a terrible way to live. So now I try to keep it in check, but I won't take up the whole stream with this, guys, folks that are watching. But I wanted to bring it up because I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough by people that deal with it, and it shouldn't be something. And for anybody else that's had that, feel free to chime in, because it's like you don't know until you know. I mean, when you anyway.
Yep, and everybody deals with it in a different way, and people I work with saw the same thing I did, and they don't have the issues I do, and so, or they don't admit to them. And
yes,
so,
I would say that's probably more likely.
But yeah, it's in all kinds of fields, and just not law enforcement and firefighters and medics and military, and I mean, it doesn't take it to the littlest trauma to somebody, or they call it a bad day, and to other people it's major life issue, and it's all how your life experience and how you deal with it, and part of mine, my doctors would say, I already had a little bit of depression before, so it just piled on top of that, and and ran away. So, but it's it's everybody deals with things differently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I would say that's certainly part of it, and then as well, like I was kind of saying earlier, I don't think. I mean, I hope. Actually, I would say I hope that not everyone has had the same life experiences.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, watching like in your situation, watching someone that you're close to die in front of you, that's never, especially in those circumstances. That's not. I mean, I don't know how you could not have some kind of trauma from that.
Yeah, my last image of her is her getting loaded onto the helicopter on Channel 4, Washington, D.C. News. So, yeah.
But, Brian, as you said that night, and I the only reason I wanted to bring it up tonight is because I appreciated so much you opening up about it. Because it just, like I said, I don't think it gets talked about enough. And, like there's so many people that are hurting out there that just don't talk about it. They just, and so they end up, I mean, I know a few of them that they don't cope with it. And so they're back where I used to be. They cope with it by drinking like way too much every day, or whatever their drug of choice is. And that's a terrible way to live. So, it's much better to talk about it. So.
Oh yeah. And I'll throw it out in chat. If anybody ever needs to talk, there's certain people, I can be reached. I'm more than willing to talk to anybody at any hour. It doesn't matter. So.
Yeah. So, yeah. Cheers to Brian and Anthony. And everybody else listening. Thank you, all you guys. Yeah. I'm sorry, Bourbon Rendezvous. It did get heavy really quick. That's just kind of how I do things. I don't really plan things out. It's just I really did appreciate Brian bringing that up the other night. I still can't remember what stream we were on.
I don't remember where we. I remember the conversation. I don't remember which stream it was on. Which is that's why I wear this bracelet. It has my friend's name on it. Date. I wear it all the time.
But I mean, I just wanted to bring out what, and these are Brian's words, so I'm probably quoting him wrong, but honestly, and I know Brian feels this way. Like Whiskey Tube has been such like a diamond in the rough. When I found this, it just because I was kind of getting into that low place again. I kind of started putting out these whiskey reviews to try and like keep my life scheduled and giving myself something to do. And then I came upon the Whiskey Tube, which I didn't even know was a thing. I mean, I knew that the Junkies existed and Jason, but I didn't know about Lives and all of you guys that were out there. And so just getting to hang out with you guys. I mean, and that's why I'm here tonight, because I enjoy this so much, just chatting with you guys, hanging out. It's always some of the best parts of my week. So, I mean, that's basically what Brian said the other night, and I'm sure he agrees. And I think probably a lot of you guys agree. I mean, it's like therapy. So thank you everybody that's here. Thank you guys.
You don't have to pay a copay.
That's exactly. Yeah. There's no insurance involved. Where's your insurance card? There's none of that. It's free basically, and it's always some of the best parts of my week. So thank you everybody that's here, and thank you Brian and Anthony for hanging out. Just appreciate you guys. So yeah, cheers to y'all. Anyway, okay, we'll get lighthearted again. But I had to get that out there because I mean, truly I appreciate you guys so much. I mean, and not just the guys on the panel, but everybody in chat and everybody that hangs out every week. It's just it gets me back to normal or something like that. Not
I was
normal.
just gonna say, or something very close to it. Yeah.
Not normal, but better, I guess is.
Hey, Mike saying the only thing that's ever normal is a setting on the washing machine.
That's
there you go.
True. That is true. Or your dryer.
Yep.
Or your dryer. I just didn't think about that until you said something. I'm laughing because, oh yeah, that is a true statement.
I like that.
I do. I liked it. I'm like, oh, that is true. That is a true statement.
I learned that on my first trip to the mental hospital.
There you go. So first let me read James Morgan's comment. So good place to be open about any issues, as we all probably had a few mental traumas for sure. So funny enough, speaking of mental hospitals, so now I'm actually the maintenance guy, on-call maintenance guy at a mental hospital. So it's which is in some ways it's good because it helps me realize I need to keep this. I need to deal with these things, keep it under control, so I don't get there. Because it's a constant reminder of this is where you could be. So keep your life in control. Because I deal with people all the time. I mean, just 2 days ago, there was a man there that got very violent. We had to, the police had to be called. He was not taking his medication. He walked off the night before. They couldn't find him for like 36 hours. And then they do find him and he's just covered in dirt and mud and filth, and then he wouldn't shower. And so, yeah, I could be there. So I'm thankful that I'm not. So, I'm always trying to, try and get back to not normal, but just try and keep doing better because, yeah, it could, but at the same time, it could be worse. I could be that man. And I'm not trying to disparage him in any way. It's just that, it's unfortunate that some of us can't get back to where we'd like to be. So, anyway, yes, prescription bourbon. Yes, cheers to all you guys. Thank you, man. Yeah, and Anthony Chairman in there. Whiskey Eyes. Hey, if you wanna hop on, feel free, Trish. That'd be great. Love to have you. I know it's kind of a guy night tonight, but hey, if you want to jump on with us, that would be great. Love to have some female interaction tonight, some female opinions, some new subjects. So we're not being such downers. Trish is always so positive and energetic, and just
Well, she is. She's always upbeat,
great
positive.
smile.
That's right. That's just Trish.
We could use that right now.
Mhm.
Anyway, okay. Let's get off the dark path. Let's talk about something more happy. Yeah, so this Bib and Tucker and wine mix, I'm not as much of a fan of. The ECBP and the wine worked really well, but the wine just the Bib and Tucker, I think the proof point's just too low. It's just not working. I tried to pour more. I don't feel like I poured that much wine, but
What's the proof in the Bib and Tucker?
I think it's like 92. Yeah, 92. Yeah. Age 6 years, 92 proof, batch 25. For whatever that's worth. Yeah. Just can't really stand up to the wine. And I didn't feel like I poured that much. And I poured a bunch more Bib and Tucker, probably more than I needed. But yeah, it's just so stick with barrel proofs if you're going to do home blends, I guess is my suggestion. Yes, hats in the house weekends for sure. Yeah. And what's up, Mr. Jiggs? Welcome, man. How we doing?
I always wear a hat.
Yes. Yeah. Me too. We were talking about this last stream. So there was a person in chat that was giving me a hard time about my hat. I won't mention who it was, but nonetheless, and I always wear a hat. And I think let's talk about this. We'll probably talk about it again tomorrow, but I think it's odd that certain hats get stigmas put on them. So, for instance, my hat seems to have the stigma of white trash redneck hick. I'm not sure how that really came about. I don't really like that stigma at all. In fact, it kind of pisses me off. But nonetheless, that seems to be a stigma that's attached to this hat. I try and not be that kind of person at all. In fact, I hate that kind of person. Yeah. But nonetheless, that is a stigma that happens. I don't think there's, well, you guys fill me in. Are there any stigmas attached to the hats that you're wearing?
If there are, for me, there's no shits given on my side. You know,
I don't.
Yeah, it's the hat I like to wear. And I mean, if you want to give it some other meaning or whatever, that's you. It's a hat, period.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Northern Virginia. I wore cowboy hats to school, so.
Yeah. I mean,
I wore a cowboy hat with my hockey jersey, you know.
There you go.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, people used to kid with me, but I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What did they say? Sticks and stones break your bones, but names don't hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so here's my only thing, Anthony, and it's because of my past, but so I had to fight this stigma basically all my life because I hung out in primarily Black communities, and so I was always accused of being, the white guy, and so it's always assumed that you're racist or whatever the case, and so that's kind of been a theme through my life, people accusing me of that. And so I wish people could just get over that and move on. I don't like that assumption. That's why it pisses me off. Don't assume, because you don't know me. So don't assume that you, just because of a hat, that you know who I am. That's what pisses me off about it. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, Scott Pigsley is here on a lighter hearted note. I'm getting dark again.
And he said gentleman, and I turned around like, who's he talking
I know.
He ain't talking to me.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know who he's looking at. It must be all these bottles around.
Like, referring to James Morgan.
You got a gentleman Jack back there?
Yeah, I don't, but I should, I guess. then the statement would be accurate. Anyway, Scott, welcome, buddy. And hey, if you want to hop on, I hope the link is still up there. I believe I pinned it. So if you want to hop on, Scott, that'd be
that's
great.
where I found it.
Love to have you. Love the hats on, guys. Thank you, Whiskey Eyes. Appreciate
Man,
it.
the tree pollen here today has got me.
Oh, it's been horrendous for weeks, probably a good month and a half or more. We've been in extreme from just pollen out
Like,
here.
the wife's
And
car
my eyes
is
will
silver,
just burn.
but today it was green.
Yeah. It was a good month ago from the pine trees that the neighbor has. And I'd get this greenish yellow tinge over everything. And I didn't catch it a good month ago. And I was doing stuff in the backyard. And then I looked at myself and I could see that on me. I went, oh, here we go. Yeah,
So,
I had a
Mr.
miserable
Jiggs,
accident.
see, I wear hats in my own house, but when I go to somebody else's house, I take it off.
That's a good point. Yeah. So, guys, hate to interrupt, but we got Trish with us. So, welcome.
Hey
Hey,
guys,
Trish,
How are you?
I'm good.
where's your hat, Trish?
Trish is going to cheer it up. I can't wait. 'Cause
Yeah, well,
we've been dark all night, so we need some
oh
bright.
no. It's been sad. I've got my dog. If you hear like crying and whining and panting, that's not me. It's my dog.
Hey,
You hear him? The thunder outside, he's like freaking out. I gave him his medicine about half an hour ago, but he's like losing it.
What
Yeah.
meds do you give?
Well, these are like calming bites like hemp and melatonin and like
Because my dog,
normally he takes Valium, but I'm out. So
my dog flips out on thunderstorms, and
Yeah.
I live like 3 miles from the minor league baseball stadium, so every Friday night, when they're at home, they play fireworks for like 10 minutes, and we forgot all about it.
That's
And
horrible.
then it just went off, and I was holding my cat when it happened. She tore my chest up.
I was gonna say
launching
I
and the
have a
dog-
scar on my arm from like my dog barking, and I was holding my cat, and it freaked the cat out and like clawed all the way down my arms. Like,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
Because like when
Oh,
thunderstorms come, I give her CBD for dogs.
Yeah, this
And
has
it works,
CBD in it too. It's got like a whole bunch of things. It's got like
Mhm.
valerian and melatonin and CBD and like
Mhm.
anyway, it's basically it's a lot. I'm waiting for it to kick in.
so
Yeah, that's the problem. I
Scott,
got to know the storm's coming
Right.
because it takes like 20-25 minutes to.
I
kick
didn't
in.
know it was going to storm tonight, and so like he was actually sleeping. Like Leon's asleep. Leon's going to a Predators game tomorrow, so they're doing a hockey game. I think at 11 is the game. So
Oh,
anyway, so he's sleeping, and the dog was in there, and he started clawing the door and like freaking out. So here, oh, poor thing, come here.
So Slapshot, me and you are having similar life experiences again. So funny enough, I live literally a block away from our high school football field. So every Friday night actually football and baseball field. So during baseball and football season, it's, all the announcers, all the crowd cheering, all that stuff. So the dog just goes nuts. Yeah.
It's sad. Normally for 4th of July, like it's coming though. Like you give them enough medicine and they're fine. But like when a pop-up storm comes, it's just horrible.
nothing you can do. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yep.
he's shaking like a leaf. Like, and that's what happened. He was fine for the first 2 years, and I let him out. It was around 4th of July. I let him out to go to the bathroom, and somebody lit a firework over our backyard, and it went off when he was out there going to the bathroom. And then from then on, that's it. He's done. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So he's got PTSD for real too.
Oh, yeah.
Poor thing.
All of us. It's all of us.
I know. It's horrible.
We all need more CBD and melatonin and all those things in our life.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
Mhm. Exactly.
so Bourbon Rendezvous says, stop playing with your dickle. Okay, noted. We will do that. Hey there, Scott. Hey, Trish from Scott Pigsley. Cheers, James Morgan. Let's see here. I'm behind in chat a few minutes here. So racism will die when we stop treating everything as racist. Good point. People are people, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Good point, Bourbon Rendezvous. Gentlemen with awesome hats. And Trish now. So, yeah, I know that was before Trish joined us. So thank you, Scott Pigsley. Appreciate that. I don't know what the gentleman part, but I appreciate the gesture. Look more like you belong at a Parker table than
Okay.
a trailer. Oh, poker. If I could read right, that would help. That's probably not helping with the stigma I'm trying to avoid. Anyway, I'm going to blame the whiskey on this one. If wearing a ball cap and a wife beater might yes, it would definitely be different. Yeah, don't. The wife beater especially is a giveaway that you might, be in that class of people. Not judging, just saying.
I don't know. I'm in Alabama, and everybody wears what we wear, and it's just the way it is. Like, I don't think it matters really what you wear. It's how you act.
Well, yeah. Then you got the other stigma instead of hats is anybody with tattoos.
Am I good?
I have a tattoo.
I do, and I want another one.
I have 5 of them.
So that's another good point, both of you. So it's weird to me that that's still a thing, and also like beards are still a thing among certain groups. There's so many weird stigmas in our country. I don't know how we got here, but hopefully someday it'll go away.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, Burma was saying the same thing. Cheers, Anthony. But I'm proud to be working class. Absolutely. CBD for pups. Who would guess? Yeah. It works great for our.
They have the same sensors that we do for cannabinoids. So, like, whatever works for you as a human, if you're going to smoke pot, it's the same thing for dogs. Yeah. So.
THC is pretty amazing, and it never did anything for me, but it works for a lot of people. Yeah. So
it does. It works for me.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't.
Talking about stigma, my dad was a policeman. I was a policeman. When I use it, I feel guilty, even though it helps. So I have issues with internal issues.
Right.
Except I had a chat with my dad, and he's like, "Dude, if it works, I don't. We're past that."
Let me just say this. There's very good therapeutic benefits to the CBD. And I know people personally who are in that world who have businesses, okay? And there's a group of them getting together to actually work with researchers in top colleges to actually come up with therapeutic doses for certain conditions and therapeutic levels. So if you would get, and I'm going to use the DUI, okay, that if you took this test and you were within these ranges, just like for alcohol, you either are or you aren't. And they said, that's the problem. They said, it should be treated as such, and then for lack of a better word, prescribed that at this level, and I don't know how they figured it out, level or whatever.
Sorry, the tornado warnings just went off.
But Anthony, real quick, I hate to interrupt you, buddy, but Scott Pigsley has joined us. So Fifth Quarter Tailgate in the house.
What's going on,
everybody?
Hey, I'm gonna get off. The tornado warning just went off.
Yeah, so be safe, Trey.
Be safe. For you. Welcome, Scott. Trish, everybody pray for Trish. Hope you guys make it through the night safe. That sucks. So
I'll tell you, I had that earlier in the week. We had a tornado, and I was in a work meeting, so that was kind of interesting. It was a work Zoom call, and I was like, bye.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah, no kidding.
Bye. Not gonna die for you guys. Like,
I'll see y'all in Oz.
You're gonna give me a lot more dollars than you're giving me to spend for this thing.
Well, and the thing about it was there was only 2 of us on like up 20 that were in this area. So like we were the only 2 that were like, right. So they carried on with the meeting, but
those things are no joke.
And Scott, so you're in Nebraska, right? If I'm
correct. Right in the middle of Tornado Alley.
Oh yeah. So, my grandmother has all kinds of tornado stories. Yeah. So
it's kind of interesting where I live. People joke that there's like this bowl, like because I live in Lincoln, and they always joke that we never get hit by tornadoes. They just kind of hop over us. Because because they'll go to the edge and then kind of stop, and then they'll land back on the other side of the city. And it's just because like our city is kind of in a valley, like just a round valley. And I don't know why that weather phenomena happens, but so if you live on the edge of town, you are in a little bit more harm's way, or
You might
supposedly. Yeah, supposedly. They say that's not true, and like everybody needs to go down in the basement, but I don't know. It's been true all my life, so.
Well, you know what's funny, Scott, is that I'm in a similar situation here in Monticello, Kentucky. So
yeah.
we're south of the lake and we're surrounded by mountains. We're kind of in a little bit of a plateau surrounded by mountains, and so it's similar situation. So like west, kind of southwest of us is kind of a flat land that gets hit by tornadoes pretty often. And it hits the mountains, and they're not really mountains. They're like more like foothills, really. But still, it hits those, kind of jumps over us, and then kind of lands on the other side of that. And that's how it kind of always works out. So here in town, not too bad. But outside of that, it can get dicey. So,
yeah, there's a lot of little towns around us, and they seem to always get, some sort of, either large hail or something, but we kind of are spared for some reason. But knock on wood.
Yeah, I had a tornado jump my house last summer. I live in a valley, just what you were describing. It came from the one direction, did half a mile worth of damage. I saw it because I looked out the window at the time, and I saw it jump the house.
Wow.
And jumped into the bathroom about that time. And then it landed 200 yards the other side of the valley and wiped out. And all it did was, throw leaves around my yard. And the hail, I have a brick house, and the hail that was hitting the side of the house was like machine gun fire. It was just, But thankfully there's no windows on that side of the house, the direction it came from, or it would have shattered all of them. So
I have a final sighting, Brian, and similar sound when the hail comes. Yeah. So Mr. Jig says CBD with less than 10% THC is very helpful, and you can function like normal, but helps so much in pain relief. But again, THC affects everyone differently. What was that you were showing off there?
It was just what I'm drinking. The duality pick from Mash and Journey, the ASW.
There we go. Now we can see it better.
Yeah, the root beer.
Mr. Jiggs is in Canada, right? Because here it's like 0.03 or something like that it can have THC. It's like nothing.
Yeah. Oh, it's hard to find good CBD stuff for sure. And that's the thing, is you have to check, because it's not really regulated by the FDA yet. So
that's the problem.
What you're actually getting, because sometimes it's almost nothing.
Yeah, I started using Delta 8, and I get it from one company, and they do lab test it, just like with FDA standards, but it's not FDA approved. But they do the test themselves. So it's the only one I use. I don't buy the stuff from the gas station or any of that other stuff.
Another one of my many gripes in this country is that the FDA just kind of picks and chooses what it decides it's going to evaluate. But anyway.
Not getting into that conversation, I'll tell you what.
That's a deep hole to go down. So but it pisses me off pretty regularly. Anyway,
because the pharmaceuticals companies don't want that research being done.
Exactly. don't step on our business here, buddy. Anyway,
what? So Mr. Jiggs is asking, how's the duality? I have both. I like them both. They if you've never had it, they've got kind of a weird aftertaste if you're not used to it. I call it the honey barbecue chip note. It's like a Lay's honey barbecue chip.
I get that.
They both taste like, on the finish, a honey barbecue chip that I just cannot like. So you'll get like the differences in like that first like third when you taste something. But yeah, the rest of it is just honey barbecue chips, which I don't hate. I mean, it's just when you're not ready for it. It was like, Okay, that's their flavor profile. Okay.
Like, I mean, so as a fan of Lay's barbecue chips, I would totally be down with that. It's just that I can see what you mean, Scott, that when I'm drinking a bourbon, that would probably strike me as odd.
Yeah. It's actually not a bourbon. So it's
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a double malt. So it's half malted barley and half malted rye. So 50% each. And then that's why it's called duality, because it's the two malts together.
Yeah, if you guys have watched any of my streams, just ignore everything I say. That's the best advice I can give you.
Oh, you've watched my streams. Good for you. When you can hear me, ignore everything I say.
If you can hear me, listen to
Ignore everything I say.
All right, so James says, what do you store in your shelter? So I don't have a shelter. I have a basement, but it's very well protected. I'm not going to say how, but it is. And all kinds of stuff. And I won't get into what's there, but it's a lot of stuff. Also, Prescription Bourbon says,
where's my hat? I know.
Hat.
I failed.
It's okay. It's okay. We love you anyway.
Trust me, you don't want to see me with a hat. I am the worst hat wearing person ever.
I doubt that. Hats are great, man. Hats make everybody.
When you got a 6 head, hats are terrible. Like
the hats cover that up.
Look at this. I do too, man. That's why I'm wearing a hat. That's why I'm wearing
when they made my forehead, they go, let's take Peyton Manning's and add an inch. Like that's my forehead. Like, golly.
So, for those that didn't notice already, I'm sure you did. We lost Neophyte. Not really sure what happened there, but anyway.
Yeah, I see in private chat he's having camera issues.
Okay, so. I'm behind. That's my problem.
Yeah, no, he just put it in private chat.
So let's see here. Storm Shelter, aka Whiskey Bunker, for sure. Yeah. So funny enough, this is the basement, and then the actual shelter is just right behind me through that door. So yeah, it's adjacent. It's adjacent to the bunker. Anyway, I'm near Cleveland. That's more dangerous than any tornado.
Just being near Cleveland? Yeah, probably.
Probably. You're probably right, Mr. Jigs. I will not dispute that. It's probably a true statement. How is that duality? Okay, well, Scott's kind of already elaborated on that, so I will. If he wants to wax poetic about it, then feel free to, Scott. Let's see here. Camera is acting up again. Going to sign off. Here's all. Okay, hey, Bourbon Neophyte, Anthony. Appreciate you stopping by. Yes, as Prescription says, good night. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to have to hit the head. I have them both and grab the Fiddler too. I like different stuff, so looking forward to it. Yeah, so Scott, Brian, Cat, I need to pee. So yeah, I'm going to do that.
All right. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing all right. How are you, bud?
Not too bad. I was actually thinking about going on live tonight just as a makeup, so I find that y'all are on here, and I was like, well, okay, I guess I don't have to go on. But
yeah, I was outside smoking a cigar, came in and checked the phone, saw he was on, and
yeah, what were you smoking?
Punch. What was it? I forget what it was called. I picked up a sampler pack.
Oh yeah. That's like the best way, I think. Especially like you said, you're just getting into cigars.
Yeah, like tonight's was like number 9, 10, 11, something like that.
Yeah, something like in there. But so yeah, if you're just getting into them, like get
the only thing
packs.
I know right now is I like the dark wrapper stuff.
Yeah, like the Maduro stuff. See, that's me. I like everybody says, oh, when you're starting out, you should get the light Connecticut shade, and I'm like, nah, give me that.
Yeah, those
stuff that's gonna
like, this. I that was the first one. I was like, really? And then I smoked the Maduro next, and I was like, okay, that's where it is.
Were you a cigarette smoker before?
Nope, never smoked anything. Well,
yeah. Well,
Until 2 years ago, I never smoked anything.
It's all right. Different kind of stream.
Exactly.
But anyway.
So
No.
I figured, hey, if I'm already doing that, I might as well, because I started with a pipe, like a tobacco pipe, because I always wanted to smoke a tobacco pipe. And so I was like, well, I'm inhaling the other stuff. I won't be inhaling that. What's add to it? So
Prescription Bourbon, I appreciate that you think that I got a new mic, but no, this is continuing to be the same piece of junk that I've had this whole time. I don't know, like some people's streams it works just fine. Some people's it doesn't work so well. So
and like when you're on everybody else's, it works.
It's
and then
fine.
you do yours,
and then I do my own,
doesn't.
and they're like, "We can't hear you," and I'm like, "That's fucking great."
I'm like, I don't know, understand.
Yeah, hosting can suck. And if you're running, folks, why I didn't turn off my cameras because I'm not a professional. So
It's all good. It's all good.
You get to stare at a blank chair for a while.
That's right. We get to admire the barrels and the bottles.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's better looking than I am anyway. So,
So yeah, I've got to do something with my background. Like your background is cool. I had nothing.
to be fair, Scott, this cost me very little because I'm a cheap son of a bitch. So,
hey, I'm okay with that. That's like what I need to know. I need to know how you got that for cheap.
So the most expensive thing, I mean, other than the whiskey itself, obviously, is the barrels, which I waited until I found a deal on them. I got both of these for $75.
Nice.
And I had to drive a little bit. I had to drive about 2 hours, but I just turned it into a whiskey hunting experience. So I hunted and I also got the barrels. And so it was a cool day. Then the shelves I built myself, which I just built out of old barn wood that I got off of people as I got to know them in the area, worked for them. And then, just, some screws I had to buy. So all total invested outside of the whiskey itself, I probably have less than $100 for sure.
Yeah.
Because the wood cost me nothing. The lights were and they're cheap LED lights. They were like $10. Screws were like another 10. So I'm like around $95. Yeah. So not too bad.
Hey, it looks good.
Looks fine. Looks good to me. Kind of feel like I need to turn my lights up just a bit.
Yeah, that's good. You're good now. Yeah. There we go. You were a little
dark. You can see that I'm actually wearing not the same color shirt as the walls.
True. Yeah.
Close.
For not just you guys, but anybody that watches me knows that I'm all about budget, man. I'm all about budget friendly stuff, just in general in life, because we're not all balling. We're not all about the bougie bottle, but the whiskey's working. We're not all about the bougie bottles here. Just enjoy.
Definitely not me.
Yeah,
I would say that, but I've got a 4-gate right here, so that's kind of a bougie bottle.
So Scott,
yes.
Yeah. So remember the excuse me, Trish. I see you. Give me 1 second, and I will introduce you again properly. So we talked about the DNA from Makers.
Yes.
So the store that I thought had sold out of it because it was off the shelves for a while, it's back in the case.
Oh, of course they did. They knew what they had.
So it's $150. I almost pulled the trigger tonight.
For each?
For one bottle.
That's not actually too fast what I paid.
Okay. I may have to swing by there and get it.
I think I paid for 2 of them. I think I paid $260. So
similar,
and that was shipped to my door. So if you can get it for, depends on which one.
That I don't know. Anyway, let me.
If you can get any of the higher ones, like the 120 or the 125, that's where I would go.
Okay.
Because the other ones are too close to cast strength for me.
Gotcha. I'll have to look at the proof point. Let me get Trish back in here though. Trish, how are we doing? You're still.
We're fine.
We're good. We're good.
It's been 10 minutes. I said goodnight and I had to come back.
That's right. That's right.
Brian knows too.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
That's my
Hey,
thing. I'm
Trish,
like,
I-
"Good night."
I just want to say I really like your new logo, your Whiskey Eyes logo. I like that a lot.
Thank you. Yeah.
I,
I just figured like the other one was just me and Leon, like our picture, and like I don't know. So
Looks good.
Yeah,
I
that's
need,
good.
I need like an artist to make me a logo.
That's her. Her. Which way am I
Oh.
pointing?
Well,
Mhm.
Which way did she go?
Which way? I don't know where I'm pointing. There we go.
I mean,
I feel like
honestly,
I'm landing a plane here, but
there's so many things I need to redo. Like I made everything I've done off of like Microsoft 3D Paint.
oh.
that was my old logo. That took me 5 minutes. I was like, well, okay.
Okay, it works, but it's not great. It's whatever.
And then I said, hey Trish, I need help with my logo. It looks bad. And she goes, I know. And I was like, thanks,
I
thanks,
did
Trish.
not say that. Actually, I'm pretty sure I complimented you on your logo.
I know. You were being nice, but yeah.
No, I mean, literally, as Scott said. So I took a picture of some barrels that I thought were pretty cool looking. They kind of look aged and stuff, and I faded them out with some effects, and I put just Whiskey Wars over it in 2 different fonts, and that's my logo. That's the whole thing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I need help, Trish. I need help.
Actually, I'm really like, this is all new to me to do logos. Like, I'm an artist, like, and actually, like, I did book covers for a living for 12 years. I was a professional book cover artist. And so, like, doing logos is totally different. Like, normally, when I worked with my publishers, I just did the artwork and they did all the typography. Like, they did all that. And, like, logos is like the opposite, like pretty much it's all typography. So I'm learning something totally new for me, which is kind of fun, you know. So, and you know, as long as
and it's more like graphic design rather than like
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's not what I was. I was an actual like illustrator artist, and so like doing this is kind of different, you know. So, but it's fun. So yeah.
it's funny. You learn new skills and
Yeah. As
pretty
long
good
as
at it.
you know nobody gets too demanding about it, it's fine.
yeah, like some guy. I know
like
it's fine.
like somebody who wants certain like colors and stuff. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. Okay.
I need these colors and this
Mhm.
font on this day.
Well, that's my problem. Like I did do for like about a year. I did branding, like at first, like just branding, like, you know, for businesses, etc. But the problem with that was like people wanted to see 20 examples of the same thing. And I'm like, no, you're not
You get
paying
2.
me enough for that. Yeah, exactly. So you get 2 and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like with like what I finally settled into doing, I have a policy like that I start with my clients. And so like they knew what they were getting into. You get 3 and that's it. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't like the first 2, I do everything you said for the first 2. And if you don't like the third one, then you pay me half and we say goodbye. Because I'm not going to do like 20 different artworks for you. Like
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. You're wasting my time and you know, it's valuable. So anyway, so logos are a little different, like, because there's so many different fonts, like too many damn different fonts. So, like,
Well, and then like you got to look at what can go better on merch and what can
right,
like,
exactly. And
I don't have that brain. Like
Yeah.
you apparently have that brain because I was like, oh, this looks good. You're like, nope, that's not gonna work.
My stick figure looks
all right.
perfect.
Yeah. No.
it is hard to think about like when you do branding, like what's going to translate on all your different platforms, not just like what looks good like on Facebook or YouTube, like, but what looks good on a glass. Like you guys want to do a Glen one day.
Yeah.
You want something like, I don't care if you want the color, like whatever color it is, that's not going to show up on your Glen. Like it's got to be, you know what I mean? Like you got to like think about that kind of stuff when you're branding. And I didn't do that in the beginning with me and Leon. That's why it was our picture. But now I'm like, well, maybe I'll just like actually like start branding myself because I wasn't like real serious about YouTube. And I'm still not serious about YouTube, but you know what I mean? Like just something that's easier, that's going to translate. So
Yeah.
Well, you know, Trish, like you said, I'm still not serious about about YouTube. Like I should be. I probably like because you know I'm starting to get there, kind of. But I just, for me, I mean, like I was saying, for me, it's just like hanging out with the guys, and I should probably take it more serious than that. But you know, and that's why my logo was made on Microsoft 3D Paint. So, but oh well.
I'll put my email in chat and we can talk. Like, I mean, and if you don't like what I do, then you don't like what I do. It's fine. I don't care. Like, that's the thing for me. Like, you know, just doing this now is I'm realizing like, well, one, I'm not that worried about it because I'm not getting paid. But two, like, you know,
I mean,
I don't take it like serious. Like, if you don't like,
You should though, Trish. You should get paid. I mean, it is a service, so.
Yeah, I mean, one day maybe, like, I mean, well, I am a paid artist. That's why I'm saying doing this is just different. Like, I don't even know what to charge for this. So, like, I'm kind of just like, so I'm just wetting, like, you know, I'm just kind of getting my toes into it. So, and I will probably use you guys for a portfolio to get paid, is what I'm trying to say.
Works for me.
Hopefully, we all become successful so that portfolio looks really
right.
Right. God. You're gonna be like, that YouTube channel isn't even running around anymore. Well,
No, but
These are all failed channels.
So
But it wasn't due to the artwork.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't.
certainly not that. Yeah,
right.
Because we suck personally. That's no, I mean, honestly though, Trish, I'd be open to any suggestions because I'm sure that anything would probably be an improvement. So,
Actually, I haven't even really like looked at yours too much. I
don't mind yours. It's
look. Let me see.
I mean, it's okay. It's just very.
I don't mind.
It's hard to read. It's hard to read in thumbnail. Yeah. That's the thing that I find with a lot of like the YouTube channels. Like, it looks great when it's this big.
Right.
But when it's this big, not so great.
Yeah.
So, like, it's hard to.
I agree.
Yeah.
So prescription bourbon, the map is priceless. Are you referring to my map behind me, or I assume so? Because
I think that's you. You're the only one with a map besides the little bourbon map that.
My Kentucky.
That a little Kentucky map? That's what I thought it was.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Too.
That is really cool. I like it.
We got it in Kentucky at like a little boutique store.
Yeah.
Like, it was like local artist or whatever, so we just bought it. So.
Yeah, I only have a hockey glove and a gremlin.
There
he is.
But so real quick, DMC. So if you are talking about my map, funny enough, this map is actually older than me. That's why I had to have it. So we were cleaning out a jewelry store for some folks that we work for because we're not generally movers, but they're good friends of my father. And so they need somebody to move. They couldn't get anybody to do it that they trusted because they're jewelers. So they paid us way more than they should pay somebody to move stuff, to move a bunch of stuff. And so this is one of the things I found. And so I asked them, I said, do you guys want this map? And they said, no, we don't have a use for it. And so I said, well, I do. And so, yeah, that's how I got it. And so this map was made in 1976.
That's the best year.
Oh, yeah?
I was one.
My year.
Hey, well, cool. There you go. So
I'm a bicentennial baby.
heck yes. So this map, same year as Trish. So it's got to be great. It's got to be great.
Exactly.
I knew deep down before I even met Trish, I knew I had to have this map. It's great. Yeah, so that's the story behind the map. Anyway, let's see here. Mr. Jiggs, what budget? I just drank Ancient Age for the first time tonight. Okay, cool. Just because I saw it and never had it, but Death budget.
I don't think I've ever had it either.
I've had like the one that's like not available. What is it? Like the 10-star or whatever.
10-star is definitely better.
And that's Heaven Hill, right? Is it Heaven Hill? Ancient Age?
No, it's Blue Buffalo Trace, I believe.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Same mash bill as blends. That's
yeah.
why
It's the mash bill 2, the the other mash bill.
Like I said, I've never had it. We don't see it here, so I don't.
No.
I mean, for a budget, and it's very budget. For a budget whiskey, it's decent. Yeah. Let's see here, Scott. You have a 16-year Seagrass.
I do have the 16-year Seagrass.
I actually saw that in the store today.
Don't buy it.
I didn't.
Sorry.
The only thing I bought was I bought
Sean doesn't understand what that
Smooth
reference
Ambler
is.
Mm.
Sean doesn't
Oh.
understand what
Oh.
what David's saying. So I did romance novels for 12 years.
Mm.
Like
Okay.
I've done over 3,000 book covers in my lifetime. So
That
my
would be a
career.
great, like, I
Yeah.
can imagine just a cartoon of Sean with two guns
With a
blazing,
cowboy hat,
with like
no,
cowboy
like,
hat and
I
flowing
can
hair.
totally do that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hell yes.
the Yosemite Sam look.
Make me say
Yeah, that's all you need.
Don't,
I
you
could
can
totally
do
do
it.
that. No.
That would so go against the vibe that I'm going for. But I love it.
But that'd make one hell of a shirt, at least. At least you need to do that just for a shirt. I
That's
mean,
true. That would make a hell of a shirt. I could sell it. It might even work on a Glenn. I don't know if you could get all
Did
that.
you? Oh my god! So I saw that the Bourbon Junkies did a shirt, and it's literally it's a coffin. Maybe I can show it. It's
Oh, I
probably
saw
just
that.
better to see. Let me see. What is it? Bourbonjunk.com.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I saw that on the Facebook page.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Can you guys hear the thunder? It's like so bad.
A little bit.
A little bit, but not really.
My dog is losing. I opened the bathroom door for him to go in there because like he likes to. I think every time we get into like tornado warning time, we always go in the bathroom. So like that's like his place. Like now he's like I have to go in the bathroom. So
Let's see if I can't.
That's
He's
what
hiding
mine
in the
did
shower.
after we had the tornado jump across us last year. Every time it thunders, she runs in the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's like, we gotta get in the bathroom.
Yeah, like he goes straight for the bathroom. He'll claw on the door until I open it. Like he's like, let me in the bathroom.
I don't know if
Which is,
that popped
like,
up for you.
We have a different house, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't think he would do that, but he does do it. Like
There we go. Okay. So
Rosa. Oh,
how do I make this bigger?
is that the grease? Is that what?
Oh
it is?
yeah. I might be able to make it.
Wait a second. Here we go. That's not a whole lot bigger, but it's a little bigger.
But yeah, it just says the Grease on it, and it's got a rose,
Yeah.
and it's because they're facing each other for Matt Madness,
Gotcha.
and
Cool.
that's funny.
James Church's face and Leon.
I think
Actually,
I think Leon is
we have
facing Leon
actually
out.
talked about that. Leon's
Mhm.
faced himself out.
Yeah, Leon's like I ain't.
Oh, you know, guys, he
We love him.
works. Like
I know.
Yeah. Like we still do filming, but like
Yeah.
lives and stuff, like he just can't. He gets up at freaking 5:30 every morning and like he can't do this. Like, you know.
I don't blame him.
So but like he's fine with me doing it. Like he's like, I don't
I'm
care.
only like 5 live streams in, and I'm like, God, do I have enough time for this? Do I?
Oh, but you still
I
work,
do.
Scott.
Yeah,
I don't work, so it's okay if I'm up at 12:30.
yeah. Well, yeah.
4 o'clock in the morning.
I work.
it's fine.
I work for the
Yeah.
moment. We'll just say I'm not. I don't want to go into that.
Yeah. Leon he just can't keep up, like, you know, and he felt bad because people are like, well, they think they're talking to me, but I'm not really there and like all that anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am actually phasing him out of our table. So
Hey, you know, and that's all right. You know, there's a lot of channels that's happened to. You know, it started with 2, and then it worked down to 1. And hey, I'm a working man myself, so I'm always trying to work things in between my actual work. So I get it. Yeah.
he works outside all day long, like literally outside, like all day. So like however the weather is, like that's what he's in. And like anyway, getting up at 5:30, doing that, and then like coming home, like he just by the time he's home, you know, like he wants to sit down, he wants to like catch up on his whatever TV, his YouTube, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like he's like he's checked out, and which is fine. So, but like he's happy about this like community for me because I am not doing that, you know, like I'm not working, and I've gone through like a couple like pretty big hits in the last 8 months with my mom dying and then my brother. And so like it's been nice to like have like people to talk to.
See, so we're circling back.
Yep, circling back to that.
I mean, this is
Did I miss that? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing. So this is exactly what we were talking about before you get on, Trish, is that, I mean, for me personally, I can speak for myself, and Brian is mentioned this as well, and maybe Scott, I don't know how you feel, but I mean, honestly, the Whiskey Tube community has just been such a blessing to find, and being to chat with all you guys every week. I mean, and everybody that's in chat and the panels. And I mean, honestly, this is like my therapy every week is hanging out with you guys, just, you know, just talking. And sure, most of the time we don't talk about deep stuff, but just having somebody to talk to, like you were saying, is just so nice. And I mean, sure, we have our spouses, but this is different. I think we all appreciate that it's different. And I mean, my wife gets it, and I'm sure your husband does, and Brian, I'm sure your wife does, but still, and Scott, you know, if you want to voice some things as well, it's just that I appreciate this so much because we all have stuff we're going through. So this is like the downtime, the chill, the kind of the woosah, whatever. It's just so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, for me, it was COVID. When COVID hit and we all were kind of, everything was shutting down and stuff, like having an outlet to come home to. Because, you know, I know that Trish and Brian know this, but I worked in healthcare industry, and I needed a clean break when I came home from that shit. So that's what Whiskey Tube did for me. And
Yeah.
like, I wasn't like, I mean, I was active, like I would watch it for, you know, before that, but now that they've started doing like the podcast style and like where we all can just come out and hang out, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's why I kind of started this tonight, because I mean, and I love Matt Porter. I mean, I think he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, Scott, I was hoping to just kind of join alive tonight, but nobody was doing that.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Not that I'm competition for Matt, because I'm not at all. But I was like, you know what? Let me start alive, and if people join, great. And you guys did, and that's been fantastic. And then of course everybody in chat, and so it's been a ton of fun having you guys on. And so yeah, I mean,
I know that Jim was gonna go on live, but he was having some technical.
But his laptop,
he was having technical issues.
Yeah. So. And then I think that Shane's on right now. Like, but I don't know. He's got some people on that I haven't ever seen before, but they seem a little, I don't know. So
fair enough.
It's Shane.
Right. So I'm just gonna be, you know, Shane's a little tipsy from his battles. So.
No kidding.
That makes sense. Sense. He had a long night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me run through a little bit of chatting, because excuse me, I am getting a little bit behind. So first off, I love this comment from Mr. Jakes. If you don't have Whiskey Wars with 2 6-shooters, you were doing it wrong. Just saying. So Trish, that's what we're expecting. With the Fabio hair, I guess. And then so he is talking about my map. Fair enough. Is David using your so no, just for anyone that wants to know, it's SEAN, like Sean Connery or Sean P. Diddy Combs or any other number of Seans that are spelled out.
Sean with Bourbon Junkies.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, that's another one. That's I call him Second Sean.
Second Sean.
the vampire. He has lots of nicknames. No, Sean's a good guy. All right. Good question. Okay, we already covered that. Did that? Oh yeah. Okay. So actually, funny enough, it was actually my dad that chose the spelling because he was a huge James Bond fan. So there you go. Mr. Connery, Mr. Connery was a hit with the ladies. Yeah, funny enough, again, it was my father. So, and no,
we won't think about that too much. It's fine.
It's weird in this context, but like my dad is straight as they get, so
that's fine.
Anyway, definitely been a blessing finding Whiskey Tube during COVID for sure.
Yeah.
Really helped tons. Love everyone, and so grateful. Agreed, Mr. Jiggs.
For
Scott
sure.
Pigsley, Jim is on with Vic at the moment.
Wait, is Vic on? Oh shit!
Did Vic go on? I don't
He's
know.
gonna be mad.
God damn.
I haven't gone on Vic's at all yet.
Well, the thing about it is there's like 3 streams that are going on right
Vic's
now.
gonna lose his mind if I'm not on there. Like I'm
Oh
literally
my
gonna get a
God.
text. Like,
What the fuck? Hey,
I'm pretty sure that Vic was not on when I started, so
this is true.
He could have come here. He could have come here.
He's not on. I don't know. I don't see him.
Or is Jim on again? Did
I don't
he?
know.
I don't know,
Live
but-
from the big rig.
But yeah, no, you got Ken and Steve, Burkow, and Busey on Schlong right now.
Oh, they went on there. Oh, like
Yeah.
there was other people on there earlier that
Yeah.
were like a little.
Is on what pinch
Like,
hitter is
I
on
wanted
with Vic
to
and
like
Joe,
before I get on there, I want to know who they are. That kind of thing.
Okay.
So,
right? I ain't going on with some randoms. Like,
yeah, I was like, maybe.
Just saying they could have come here.
they could have. Yeah, you were the first. You were the first I saw, so I'm
Yep.
here. You know.
when I click my list that shows who's live, you were the only one other than
Oh.
Matt. So that's what I clicked.
And
That's the problem with going live, Scott. If you haven't realized,
Yeah.
you don't want to step on anybody's toes, but there's never a time. Like
Yeah.
there's never a time.
That's kind of why I go Monday nights after the shelters, because there's not really anybody.
Well, that's when Joe was going.
But he's not going there anymore. He's
No,
going
I know,
on.
He moved to Saturday.
He moved to Saturdays. I wouldn't have gone if Joe was going, probably. But
It's just like everybody's doing it now, so it's kind of hard.
yeah, you're gonna step on somebody's toes.
Yeah.
I will never have a channel.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Gonna
bro.
happen.
Negative.
Mhm.
I'm already out of my comfort zone just being on somebody else's stream. I could never
I'm
run
actually
one.
like surprised, Brian. I feel like you talk more on this stream than I see you talk normally ever.
Because I don't talk over people.
right.
So when people are talking, I shut up.
That's Leon. Leon's like, he will never say anything like when we go on Livewire. I'm like,
Like
Oh,
I'm like
the night I
"You
went
have-
on, Scott, I was on your stream.
yeah. You came on
For a
my stream for
while.
like 2 whole hours, like
Yeah,
3 hours.
my throat hurt after I got off. I was like, man, I haven't
Oh.
talked that much in like 10 years.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
That's Leon. He's like he's like really like he's not shy, but like he is a listener. Like he listens to everybody.
Oh, I know
he-
what's going on in any room I'm in.
Right. That's him. And like every time he gets on, like he's like, this is just not for me. He's like, because I never get to say what I want to. And then when I do say it, it's past the time. And I was like, you just have to say it because you're talking with a bunch of drunk people. So like you
Yeah.
just have to like cut in.
Okay,
Like,
so yeah, Jim is live again. Okay.
see,
You guys better
Scott,
not lose me.
cutting
No,
in.
I'm
me,
not leaving.
And then
I'm
Ryan's
not
cutting
leaving.
in. That's what I'm saying.
I'm
Like
not
you
leaving.
have to
I'm
get
leaving.
used to it. But
Yeah.
Leon, that makes him uncomfortable. He's like so proper, like that he would never cut somebody off when they're talking. So like he can't do it.
Yeah, I don't.
That's kind of why I kind of limit my channels to like 4 or 6.
That's exactly what I was about to say, Scott. So this is like my perfect group, like 3 or
Yeah.
4. I can't do the 10. I can't. It's too much. Like there's too many people trying to talk at the same time, and it just becomes a mess, and nobody gets to get their thought across, and it's too much. So
You have 3
or 4
conversations. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 or 4 is good. That's where I like to be at.
But see, that's where I thrive. I love that.
God,
Like, I love that there's like somebody talking over here, somebody talking over here. Like it doesn't bother me.
No, that
We're
is-
playing a game while everybody's talking. So
See, in me, I have hearing loss in my left ear. So tracking conversations gets harder, especially if in a room it's easier, but on the computer and earphones, like that's why I started wearing the earphones because it's easier. But still, like if 10 people and it's just like I don't know who's talking, but now I'm getting pretty good at recognizing voices of the people that go on all the time. And so like even my wife, she'll be in the other room. She's like, "Is that so and so on?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I recognize their voice." But so yeah, the 10 when it gets up to 10 and everybody's talking, it's just like watching a tennis match, trying to figure out when I'm going to say what I wanted to say, and then I'm like, Leon, it's been 5 minutes, and what I was going to say is no longer relevant.
Yeah, that's Leon. Like he's like, it's just too much. He's like, I can't. Like it's not for me. So.
Well, I mean, and it feels like just from watching streams like that, there's several people that are on the panel that are kind of stifled by that, and not just you, Brian, but I mean, I several folks that they're on the panel, but they might not talk for 30 minutes. Yeah. And so it feels like it's too much for a lot of people. So I like to have more smaller, close-knit groups.
David's like that too. David's real quiet, like when we're on panels and stuff.
And see, my other thing is when people start talking about, the above $100 whiskeys, that's not my wheelhouse. So I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about because I never had that, never seen it. I wouldn't buy it if I saw it.
Brian, I need your address. We're going to change that. I'm going to at least get you some samples.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll send it. The text.
I
or
sent
send me a
that
text
to Brian,
message.
and then all of a sudden, our cap got pushed up to like 150.
Yeah. Well, my financial situation doesn't allow for a push up.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Brian, just so you know, I've only owned 4 bottles that are over $100, and 2 of them were given to me. I've only bought 2 myself. So that's
I own 2 bottles that people have paid more than I pay, but I got them at retail because I live in an ABC state and won the lottery, which is the 10-year rip and the lot B. I paid retail for them, but I don't even know what they go secondary. My wife's like, they go what for secondary, and why didn't you sell it?
Yeah, so this is one of them I still own. This was a gift. I did not buy this, and I wouldn't probably. But so, just so if you guys can't see that, that's the Harvest Rye, and it is very good. I have to say. Is it 150 good? I don't know. Hard to say. Camera lost focus again.
Sorry, my dog just opened my son's door and went in his room. So, he just learned how to like jump up on the freaking handle and went in his room. So, because he's freaking out.
He's trying to find a place to hide. I get it.
Yeah. Yep. And I just went in there. My son was like, "Did you let him in?" I was like, "No." Like he just.
Oh, do you have the like push down handle doors?
Yeah, I have the push ones. And Mia's already. We have a poodle, a standard poodle, and she's already learned how to open all the doors. Like we have to shut the garage door, like lock it, like when we leave, because she just freaking opens it and just goes out into the garage. But he just figured out like how to open it now, so that's great. So.
My previous dog could open handles.
Oh no!
Like knobs.
How?
Mouthed it, bite it, and turn.
Really?
Yeah, he was.
That'll do it.
He was 120-pound Roddy pit mix.
Okay, yeah, well.
He had a big mouth and a tight
jaw.
He's a
lab shepherd. He's 100 and he's like 100 pounds, but he just got up there and freaking opened it and let himself in.
So I feel bad because I feel like I should probably know this. Who is Jim?
The pinch hitter. The
pinch hitter whiskey. Yeah.
So I don't know, like
he got suckered into a channel too.
Kind of, yeah.
He really did.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about. I didn't get suckered into a channel. He did though. Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm not.
Oh, come on!
Yes,
come on,
you are.
No.
Come on, Brian. I need somebody to come talk about hockey.
Hey, for one thing, all I have is a phone. I don't even have a computer. All I have is my phone.
Hey,
so this is
you have to have a computer for sure.
Yeah, I don't even own.
I know a lot of people who go live just off of this.
Who?
Yep.
There's channels, not Whiskey Tube, but there's channels that just use their cell phone.
Well, I mean,
and they do live streams.
Vic is using a tablet, right?
Mm-hmm. Vic's using his tablet.
Oh yeah.
I don't even own one of those.
Do you hear my dog, you guys?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
He's trying to get back in
I
my.
keep checking to see if it's mine.
Hey,
No,
Yeah,
it's
right.
mine. He's losing his mind.
So
Anyway.
Trish, but before you came on, actually before anybody came on, my dog and wife were being very disruptive. Just to my right, my dog was playing with a ball that has voice, like it talks as he moves it around.
Oh, really?
That was happening in the early part of the stream, so don't feel too bad. Again, I state, folks, I'm not a professional. I just drink whiskey on camera just for fun. I
Yeah.
don't expect high class here. That's not what we're going for.
Mhm.
It's my kind of place.
So across the panel, if any of you guys have had this, and in chat as well, what are your thoughts on this? So I bought this, and I want to be clear, I'm not disparaging Matt at all. Matt's a great guy. Again, I bought the Sam Houston, the 15.
I've never had it.
And I don't know.
Which batch is that? Does it say like?
Yes. So let's give the readout here. So this
Yeah.
is bottle 469 of 486, Kentucky batch 4, batch size 3. Let's see, barreled date 0406. So month 04, year 06. Aged, 15.6 months. Let's see here. Char level 4. American white oak is the barrel type, and mash bill 74, 18 rye. So 74 corn, 18 rye, and 18. No, wrong. Rewind. 74 corn, 18% rye, and 8% malted barley. That is the whole readout on this bottle. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just that it's $130 bottle. So
I've seen them more than that. I've seen them more than that.
Really?
Around here, they're like 150, 180.
yeah, I mean, the only reason I bought this is because I found it at retail. That's why I bought it. But even still, like I would probably, so the way this drinks to me, even though I know it's a Barton product,
Yeah.
it drinks very similar to Old Forester 1920, except for, to me, it maybe isn't as good.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, that's the thing with those, because
Then
it's
I won't like
it's basically 3 barrel batches. Like that's what they do, and yours is the Kentucky 4.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, maybe that's just a bad blend. Because I've definitely had samples that were better than others. I've never had a bottle, but I've had samples that are.
So this was Porter's Whiskey of the Year, and so I was in the store, I saw it at retail, and so like I had to refresh my memory. I was like, it seems like there's a whiskey tuber that I follow that this was the Whiskey of the Year. So I'm going through them, I'm skipping to the end and all that stuff. Which, by the way, folks, don't do that. It hurts the algorithm. But nonetheless, so I'm skipping through videos, and sure enough, it was Porter's. Now, I'm certain he had a different batch because he's in Colorado. So there's no way he has KY4.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, so I get it, and I get home, first crack, and I was like, eh. And as it's opened up, it's better, but it's still not. It does not say $130 to me. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, that's those small batch, like ultra small batch, like 3 barrel things. Like, it's really up to like, if I can, I will ask a store owner if I can try either their store picks or their like that type of product where it's only 3 barrels, where it's like really selective. I will flat out ask the store owners, can I have a sample of this?
Yeah.
More often than not, they will, because they want you to buy it, but they also don't want you to buy it if somebody else can buy it and you don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
See, so
I don't know if you can do that where you're at though. Like that's the thing.
Not in Virginia, you can't do that.
Exactly what I was about to say. So for whatever reason, I'm in Kentucky.
Yeah.
I'm in Southern Kentucky. I mean, like
Kentucky is the worst state to have liquor
Right.
state. Like it's like the dumbest thing. I mean,
so. What's weird is that it's not like it's illegal or anything. It's just that so few stores offer that option.
Yeah.
I mean,
because they won't because they're like, well, somebody's gonna buy it anyway without the sample, so I don't have to waste a bottle.
Exactly. Whereas I go down to Tennessee, I've been to 3 different stores in Tennessee that I've had 6+ samples, which honestly is getting dangerous to drive at that point. But I mean, and I'm talking like full 1 ounce samples. So that's, equivalent to like 6 beers. And no problem. But here in Kentucky, getting a sample, you almost have to like pull teeth to do it. It's just, it's a pain in the ass.
Well, hell, they did it, but they kind of fixed it, right? Where they can do the barrel picks, and they're not really weren't really supposed to do barrel picks, and
exactly.
Yeah, like you could only have like what? It was like some stupid amount of alcohol for your barrel pick, and they never actually followed that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 1.25 ounces.
Yeah.
So that's
total.
That's like 1 1/4 samples, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because if you're barrel sampling, how would you possibly pick between, say, 3 and 4 barrels if all you can drink is 1.25 ounces?
Yeah, you're getting like a 1/4 ounce.
Yeah.
Each pour.
I mean, that's barely enough to coat your palate. I mean, it's laughable that that's a law. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Junkies did a really nice kind of like podcast ish kind of thing. I suppose most of us saw it. Yeah, so that is going away. The laws are changing. So thankfully that's happening, because if it hadn't happened, then I mean it would have probably killed everything that we love about Whiskey Tube, because I mean, honestly, like so I'm a proud Patreon of Mash and Journey. I think they're one of the best picks out there. So, just shameless promotion of those guys, even though it helps me none at all. But yeah, subscribe to those guys and also join the Patreon, because this guy right here, I freaking love this bottle. It's a maker's pick, but my God, they did a hell of a job with this. So I'm gonna later this year. I'm gonna talk to Scott and Jason before I do it, because I want to make sure they're cool with it. But I want to compare that to the FAEs and whatever comes out this year, because I have a feeling it's gonna just crush them.
Yep.
Because they just did a fantastic job with it, and I can't wait for their Old Forester pick. That's another brand that I just love. So waiting for that to drop. Yeah. So anyway, you guys talk. I've been talking too much, so say things.
Sorry.
Things.
I missed everything because my dog is losing his ever living mind. So
Yeah, I've never had the Sam Houston. That's the same company that makes the Calumet, right?
Yeah, it's all yeah. They source it from Barton.
Okay.
They're
So
both
I've had the
Barton
Calumet,
sourced.
but not the Sam Houston. And I've only had a shot, in a flight at a local bar.
I think Mr. Jiggs is messing with you a little bit here, Brian.
Yeah, that's not even close to being fact.
look, he's trying to.
Can you not? No,
That's my dog losing his mind.
Calm down.
I get it.
He's like, I'm breaking shit. Jesus.
That's not your dog. No, that's not your dog that's pregnant. That's the
No.
other one. Yeah.
No, that's the
Come
poodle.
here. Come here. Yep. Okay. It's just.
It's
See, mine
separation anxiety when the poodle's
I
gone.
like it.
like there's thunder.
Thunder.
And he's losing
Oh.
See,
Like, literally
mine runs
losing it.
around pacing, and then she'll go to the
God.
bathroom, to the kitchen, to the bathroom, to the kitchen.
Well, that's what. Look, now he's off into the bathroom and he's tearing stuff up. Leon's about to come out with a gun because he's probably thinking somebody's breaking in. So there he is. Shit. All right.
Dang.
My dog is crazy, you guys. I'm sorry. Good night.
Night, Trish.
All right.
Good night,
Bye.
Trish.
Are you really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
She was serious. Okay. Oh well. Now I was about to say. So my
She might be
dog
back.
might be worse. It's hard to say. So knocking over fake plants is one thing. What our dog likes to do is he kicks all the pillows off the couch and everything else, and then scratches up our leather couches. And then when we're not looking, he finds a place to piss in the house. So,
Wow.
so that's always fun. Yeah. Every thunderstorm, that's going to happen at some point. You have to really keep a close eye on him, or else there's going to be piss in the house. So, yeah.
Yeah, mine's not that bad. She just paces and pants.
I wish we could just get to that point. That'd be nice. It's the pissing part that really ruins the night.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right.
Well,
I see that Shane ended his stream to go over to pinch hitter. So I might go over there and kind of maybe I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you not to cut your stream off, but I'm gonna kind of head over there for a little bit and see how they're doing.
I am wearing down anyway, so I'm East Coast anyway, and so it's 2:03 here, so that sounds good. Let me just finish out chat here, and then we'll close out, and you guys can go wherever you may like. So Liquor Barn sells samples here. Okay, good to know. I am in Kentucky, so I will check that out. Poor pup, he needs another dose.
dose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
2022 Maker's Mark releases are BR01 and beer. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's barrel rotation, so they're gonna be like one's gonna be on the top of the brick house, and one's gonna be on the bottom, and they're not gonna move them, or they haven't moved them for their whole time. Because how Makers does it is they're constantly rotating.
Oh, they move them.
They're moving their barrels all the time. When one goes out, the other goes up top. You know, they just are moving them. So these have just stayed where they were this whole time. So it'd be, yeah. So that's what it means. Barrel rotation something.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Trish says, sorry. No problem, Trish. Glad to have you. Night, guys, for sure. Have a good night, everyone. Yes. So, Scott, Trish, Bourbon Neophyte, guys in chat, if you haven't subscribed for some reason, check out all these guys. I know Slapshot Brian doesn't have a channel yet, but we're working on it. We're working on it. But seriously, thank you, everybody. Thank you for the therapy on this Friday night. You guys all be safe. Trish, you guys especially in the Tornado Alley-ish area right now. Scott, Brian, thank you for hanging out. We'll see you guys. By the way, real quick before we end, I will be on tomorrow night, 9:30, if you guys want to hang out. Guys on the panel, guys in chat, anybody who wants to hang out, please feel free to swing by. We'll have a great time. Good night, all. Scott, Brian, good night.
All right.
Good night, everybody. Yes. Thank you as well, DMC. We'll see you.